Chapter 2794. Lu Ming continued to attack. Moon slash, moon slash, moon slash. Lu Ming continued to use moon slash. One after another, the blood-colored pythons were destroyed. Soon, more than a dozen blood-colored pythons disappeared. At this moment, the complacent look on Shui Yu's face had completely disappeared. It was replaced by horror, confusion, and disbelief. How is this possible? How can his divine power not be exhausted? Shui Yu muttered to himself. Lu Ming's attack was shockingly powerful. It was definitely a trump card. This kind of move generally consumed a lot of divine power. Even outside, Lu Ming couldn't use it continuously. Not to mention, in his blood-rain barrier he was suppressed by the barrier. The consumption of divine power was several times faster than outside. Logically speaking, Lu Ming's divine power should be exhausted. But why was Lu Ming still so lively? Shui Yu was dumbfounded. Boom. Lu Ming broke through the encirclement of the blood-colored pythons and finally bombarded the blood-rain barrier. The blood-rain barrier shook violently, but it wasn't blasted open. I don't believe it. Come again. Lu Ming continued to attack, and the long spear kept bombarding. Boom. Boom. The blood-rain barrier kept shaking as if it was going to be broken at any time. But every time it barely blocked it. Haha, Lu Ming, given your cultivation level, you won't be able to break my enchantment. Just take a beating. I don't believe that your divine power is endless. Even if I have to exhaust it, I will exhaust you to death. Seeing that Lu Ming didn't break the blood-rain barrier, Shui Yu laughed and finally felt relieved. As long as Lu Ming couldn't break the blood-rain barrier, Lu Ming would be exhausted to death sooner or later. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In the blood-rain barrier, more blood-colored sword lights and blood-colored pythons appeared and rushed toward Lu Ming. Just a little bit more then. Quadruple combat power. Lu Ming's eyes flashed and he began to activate his quadruple combat power. At the same time, he swept his spear to block the attacks of the blood-colored sword lights and the blood-colored pythons. Lu Ming is in a passive position. That's right. However, his strength is truly frightening. Even after being trapped in the blood-rain barrier for so long, he still possesses such battle prowess. Truly terrifying. Indeed, Shui Yu is not his opponent in a head-on collision. What a monster. Unfortunately, his attack power is not enough to break the Shui Yu enchantment. In the end, he will lose to Shui Yu. It is indeed a pity. Within the blood-rain barrier, as long as the blood-rain barrier could not be broken, the blood-rain barrier would be able to take the initiative and be in an invincible position. Many people believed that since Lu Ming couldn't break the blood-rain enchantment, his defeat was inevitable. Kill, kill, kill. Shui Yu's body was constantly bursting with blood-red divine power, raising the power of the blood-rain barrier to its peak. Countless blood-red sword lights and blood-colored pythons rushed towards Lu Ming. At this moment, a low roar came from Lu Ming's body. His battle intent suddenly rose by a notch. Battle character secret art, quadruple combat power was successfully triggered. Moonslaying. Lu Ming let out a long howl and cast the moon-slashing technique once again. However, the power this time was much stronger than before. A crescent-shaped attack burst out. Wherever it passed, all the blood-colored sword lights and blood-colored pythons were destroyed. Break for me. After Lu Ming destroyed the blood-colored sword lights and blood-colored pythons, his spear swept out again. This time it was directly aimed at the blood-rain barrier. Boom. A violent explosion sounded. Then, the blood-rain barrier was directly penetrated and split into two halves. How is this possible? Shui Yu roared in shock. It was simply unbelievable. Lu Ming obviously couldn't break the blood-rain barrier before. How could he break it in the blink of an eye? Could it be that Lu Ming was still hiding his strength before? Not good. Retreat, retreat. Shui Yu reacted and frantically retreated. However, how could Lu Ming let him retreat? He displayed the Nine Heavens Garuda technique. In a flash, he quickly chased after Shui Yu. Then, another moon-slaying attack was launched. The blood-rain barrier collapsed. Without the barrier, Shui Yu's speed was reduced by many times. He couldn't be compared to Lu Ming at all. Shui Yu couldn't avoid Lu Ming's attack and could only erupt with all his strength to resist. A blood-red armor appeared on his body, covering his whole body. Then, a battle sword appeared in his hands and he slashed out. Clang. Lu Ming's attack fell on Shui Yu's battle sword. Shui Yu's battle sword vibrated crazily and finally exploded with a bang. This was a mid-grade divine weapon, and it was directly shattered by Lu Ming. Shui Yu's figure retreated rapidly, vomiting blood. He was severely injured. I admit defeat, I admit defeat. Just as Lu Ming was about to launch another attack to kill Shui Yu hurriedly shouted. He felt that he definitely couldn't block Lu Ming's next move. Once the next move was launched, he would fall. If he didn't admit defeat now, when would he? Since Shui Yu admitted defeat, Lu Ming could only stop. Shui Yu hurriedly retreated from the battle stage, vomiting blood continuously. A deep wound appeared on his chest. Even his armor was cracked, and the wound was so deep that his bones could be seen. This was all because of Lu Ming's move just now. Shui Yu lost. Heavens, a third-level true god actually defeated an expert on the true god list. This is too heaven-defying. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air, shocked to the extreme. The heavenly Hong Saint's son, Fuko Seiko, and the others were greatly shocked, and their eyes were filled with fear. Lu Ming was too heaven-defying. In a few more years, how would they be able to compete with the Kongshan school? Even the Supreme Saint's son, who had always been calm, had a grave expression on his face. Amazing, Lu Ming is too amazing. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng muttered to themselves. Boss is so mighty. In the crowd, and Hai Lu Chong and the others were also watching. At this moment, their eyes were shining with excitement. They had already submitted to Lu Ming. The stronger Lu Ming was, the happier they would be. As for the outer disciples, they were already dumbfounded. Some of them looked down on Lu Ming when he first entered the sect, but now they weren't even fit to carry Lu Ming's shoes. Moreover, only a few decades had passed since then. Are there any more battles? Come down quickly. Lu Ming stood on the battle stage and shouted. At this moment, his battle strength was at its peak, and he didn't want to waste time. Everyone looked at each other. The heavenly Hong Saint's son, Fuko Seiko, and the others' faces were gloomy. Shui Yu was the Tenho Seiko faction's strongest true god realm expert, and he had no one else to send. Fuko Seiko and the others had people under their command, but they weren't confident that they could defeat Lu Ming. Just now, Lu Ming and Shui Yu's battle had been completely one-sided. Therefore no one made a move. Could it be that Lu Ming was really going to become the 8th holy prince of the Kongshan school today? This thought appeared in many people's minds. Long Xian, make your move. At this moment, a dignified voice sounded. It was the Supreme Saint's son. Chapter 2795. The Supreme Holy Son's voice made many people's hearts beat wildly. Waran? 1? The Supreme Holy Son was going to send someone out, and it was Long Xian. Long Xian was the #1 true God realm expert under the Supreme Holy Son. He was also the #1 true God realm expert in Kongshan school and ranked 6th on the true God list. The Supreme Holy Son was going to send Long Xian out. The eyes of the heavenly Hong Saint, Fuko Seiko, and the rest lit up. Yes, Holy Son. Behind the Supreme Holy Son, a skinny young man in a black robe nodded and appeared on the fighting ring in a flash. Long Xian is going to make a move. There will be a good show. Many people were looking forward to it. They wanted to know if Long Xian could stop Lu Ming's winning streak. There was no doubt about Long Xian's strength. He was ranked 6th on the True God list and was definitely above Shui Yu. Shui Yu was only ranked 87th on the True God list. I'll give you some time to rest and recover. Long Xian looked at Lu Ming and said lightly. Even though Lu Ming had displayed shocking strength, he was still very confident in himself. No need. Let's fight now. Lu Ming said. Looks like you're very confident. If that's the case, don't say that I'm taking advantage of you. Be careful. Long Xian reminded. A pitch-black spear appeared in his hand. Long Xian's weapon was also a long spear. Bam. Long Xian stomped heavily on the ground. His body was like a stream of light as he dashed toward Lu Ming. A black spear gleam pierced toward Lu Ming like a shooting star. Third stroke of destruction, sky-piercing. Lu Ming also stabbed out with his spear. Boom. The two spear lights collided in the void and exploded with a deafening roar. Violent airflow spread out in all directions. At the same time, the two figures retreated. This collision was a draw. Sacred divine power. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. This Long Xian's divine power was at the Saint grade. This person's cultivation had already reached the peak of the true God realm. He was only a step away from the heavenly God realm. As long as he stepped into the heavenly God realm, he would be qualified to become the next saint. There was no doubt about his battle prowess. If Lu Ming had not cultivated the Heaven and Earth 10,000 Dao technique and had 5 divine fires in his body, he would not have been able to fend off Long Xian given the huge difference in their cultivation levels. Otherwise he would not have been able to fend off Long Xian. Even now, Lu Ming had activated the battle character art to quadruple his battle prowess, but they were still evenly matched. Amazing, truly amazing. A third stage true god actually has such battle prowess. This is the first time I've seen it. Again. Long Xian's eyes were filled with amazement, and he once again charged towards Lu Ming. This time the power he used was even stronger. His attack divine skill has already reached the peak of the 5th level. Lu Ming's eyes were solemn. Long Xian's attack divine skill had already reached the peak of the 5th level, which was 1 level higher than Lu Ming's divine skill. Fortunately, Lu Ming had the battle character art, and any divine skill he used would be stronger. Otherwise it would be difficult to fight against him. Third strike of extinction, moon slashing. Lu Ming held the spear with both hands and slashed down. A crescent-shaped spear light slashed towards Long Xian. Boom. The two of them clashed for the second time, but this time, it was still difficult to determine the winner. Amazing again. Long Xian roared and continued to charge towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming also exerted his strength to the maximum. The divine power of 5 divine fires, the battle character art quadrupled his battle prowess, and his exceptionally strong divine body. He used every bit of his strength to fight against Long Xian. The two of them fought fiercely on the battle platform and they exchanged hundreds of blows. Lu Ming did not use the ice chain because he knew that Long Xian also had a secret skill that he had not used. He had seen it during the sect grand competition. Whoosh. Suddenly, a black light shot out from Long Xian's body and charged towards Lu Ming at an alarming speed. It's coming? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. At this moment he was highly focused. With a thought, the ice chain flew out and flew towards the black light. Ding. The ice chain collided with the black light, and there was a ding sound. But what made Lu Ming's face change was that the ice chain shattered during the collision. The ice chain could not block the black light at all. After the black light destroyed the ice chain, it continued to stab towards Lu Ming at an alarming speed. Lu Ming could clearly see that it was a scorpion tail. The tail of a scorpion had a black spike at the tip of the tail. It was black and shiny and it was extremely terrifying. This was Long Xian's secret skill. Bang. The speed of the scorpion tail was too fast. In the next instant it hit Lu Ming. Lu Ming's 9 layers of crimson gold armor shook violently. It could not block it and was penetrated. Lu Ming used the 9 Heavens Garuda technique and retreated rapidly. But he was still a step too late. He felt a sharp pain in his body. His shoulder was hit and a small hole appeared. Blood flowed out. Flying all the way to the edge of the battle platform, Lu Ming's figure stopped. What a powerful secret skill. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Long Xian's scorpion tail secret skill's attack power was really shocking. This was not because Lu Ming's ice chain was inferior to the other party, but because Lu Ming's cultivation was too weak now. The power of the secret skill would also become stronger as the cultivator's cultivation increased. If Lu Ming's cultivation reached the 9th level True God realm, the power of the ice chain would naturally be extremely shocking. Interesting. To be able to receive one of my moves and only be injured without being defeated, there aren't many in the True God realm. Again. Long Xian's voice sounded. Before his voice fell, his figure had already rushed toward Lu Ming. That scorpion tail on his body turned into a black lightning, piercing toward Lu Ming. Ice chain. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Several ice chains flew out at once. This time Lu Ming used a total of 3 ice chains. 3 ice chains like 3 silver snakes flew towards the other. Ding, ding, ding. 3 consecutive collisions sounded. This time, Lu Ming finally blocked the other party's scorpion tail attack. He actually blocked it. That's the secret skill ice chain. Someone recognized Lu Ming's secret skill. This kind of secret skill was available in the scripture depository. As long as one had points, anyone could exchange for it. 3rd level True God realm, the power of the ice chain is already so strong. This is already great success. An inner sect elder sighed. How did he cultivate? If one wants to cultivate the ice chain to great success, the cold moonstone is the best choice. Did he obtain several cold moonstones? How is that possible? Another inner sect elder was even more envious. This was because he had also cultivated the ice chain. However, after many years of cultivation, he still hadn't reached great success because he didn't have suitable materials. On the battle stage, the fierce battle between Lu Ming and Long Xian continued. The scorpion tail and the ice chain kept colliding. The long spears in their hands were also constantly clashing. However, they were still evenly matched. I didn't expect you to be so powerful to be able to force me to use my ultimate move. You're the first Kongshan school student. Long Xian's voice sounded. In the next moment, another black light burst out from his body. P.S. Readers, I'm the shepherd boy Tingzhu. I recommend a free app that supports downloading, listening to books, zero advertisements, and multiple reading modes. Chapter 2796. Another black ray of light shot out from Long Xian's body. In a sea? Another scorpion tail. Long Xian's secret technique was somewhat similar to the ice chains. It could not only use one scorpion tail. In the previous sect grand competition, Long Xian had only used one scorpion tail to end the battle. No one knew that Long Xian could use a second scorpion tail. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Fortunately, Lu Ming also held back. He did not use all of the ice chains. Ice chains go. Lu Ming waved his hand and 3 more ice chains flew out. After a few consecutive collisions, they successfully blocked Long Xian's scorpion tail. You've actually cultivated all 6 ice chains to the greater success stage. This time even Long Xian himself was shocked. That's enough. Let's continue. Lu Ming waved his hand again. 9 ice chains appeared on his body and flew out, wrapping around Long Xian. 9. Long Xian's pupils shrank and he growled. His body emitted a black light and another scorpion tail flew out from his body. 3 scorpion tails. Long Xian had actually cultivated 3 scorpion tails. The 3 scorpion tails and the 9 ice chains kept colliding. Clang, clang. Dense collisions sounded. In an instant, the two had exchanged more than 100 blows. So powerful. Both of them are monsters. Long Xian is a monster, but Lu Ming is even more of a monster. Lu Ming and Long Xian had used all of their trump cards, which really shocked the spectators. Even the inner elders could not stay calm. On the fighting ring, the 2 figures kept flashing and colliding, fighting fiercely. Those with weaker cultivation could no longer see the 2 figures clearly. Not long after, the 2 of them exchanged a few hundred blows before separating and standing on opposite sides of the fighting ring. Who won? Everyone was curious and looked at the 2 carefully. Look, Long Xian's aura is weaker. His body is covered with a layer of frost. Someone exclaimed. Everyone looked over and saw that Long Xian's body was covered with a layer of frost. Even his hair and eyebrows were covered with a layer of frost. I've lost. At this moment, Long Xian spoke and actually took the initiative to admit defeat. He looked at the 9 dancing ice chains behind Lu Ming, revealing a deep sense of dread. Especially one of the ice chains emitted a shocking cold air. After continuous collisions, he felt that the blood in his body was about to freeze. He had to divert a large amount of divine power to resist the cold air. If the battle continued, he would definitely not be Lu Ming's match. What? Long Xian admitted defeat. Lu Ming won. Long Xian's admission of defeat caused an uproar. This result was really out of everyone's expectations. Previously, many people looked down on Lu Ming. They felt that Lu Ming, a 3rd-level true god, would be crushed anytime. But now, even Long Xian, who was ranked 6th on the true god list, was not Lu Ming's opponent. Was Lu Ming still human? If you cultivate the 4th scorpion tail, I will definitely not be your opponent. Lu Ming also said politely. Long Xian's strength was really shocking. Lu Ming had already done his best, but he still did not have a big advantage. He still relied on the terrifying cold air in the 9th ice chain to suppress Long Xian a little. If the other party had a 4th scorpion tail, Lu Ming would probably not be his opponent. This battle made Lu Ming understand that he could not underestimate the heroes of the world. In the primitive universe, there were all kinds of divine skills and all kinds of terrifying secret techniques. It was normal for some extremely powerful freaks to be born. A loss is a loss. Moreover, it's easier said than done to cultivate the 4th scorpion tail. I accept my loss wholeheartedly. Long Xian was an upright person. After cupping his fists, his figure moved and left the battle stage. Is there anyone else who wants to fight? Lu Ming scanned the surroundings again, but no one responded to him. What a joke. Even Long Xian had been defeated. Who else in the true god realm could fight with Lu Ming? They would definitely lose if they went up. Is there anyone else who wants to fight? Long Zhoushan opened his mouth and asked. Still no one answered. All right, since no one wants to fight according to the previous agreement, Lu Ming is officially the saint. Long Zhoushan announced. The great sky saint Fuko Seiko and the others' faces were extremely gloomy. This was especially so for the great sky saint Sun and the floating light saint Sun. They had truly suffered a double loss. They had each lost a genius and suffered heavy losses. This is just the beginning. It's not that easy to secure the position of saint. The great sky saint snorted in his heart. Congratulations, congratulations. Congratulations, Saint Lu Ming. Seeing that Long Zhoushan had made the announcement, some of the inner sect elders cupped their fists and congratulated Lu Ming. Of course, there were also some inner sect elders who remained silent, such as Ying Tsang's master. "Seniors, you're too polite." Lu Ming could only cup his fists in response. In fact, he didn't care about the title of saint. However, Long Zhoushan had forced it on him, and Long Zhoushan had placed the Nether Dragon blood curse in his body, so he could only obey. "Alright, this matter ends here. The competition is officially over." Long Zhoushan turned to leave after making the announcement. Before he left, he glanced at Lu Ming. Lu Ming could clearly see that Long Zhoushan's eyes were filled with anticipation and a terrifying malevolence. What is this old man planning? Lu Ming frowned. After Long Zhoushan left, the inner sect elders also left. "Lu Ming, no, Saint Lu Ming, congratulations, congratulations." Yu Linglong immediately went up to congratulate him. "Brother Lu, congratulations." Wu Zifeng also cupped his fists to congratulate him. "You guys don't have to congratulate me. I don't want to be the saint," Lu Ming said helplessly. When the other disciples heard this, they were envious and wanted to trample on Lu Ming. He didn't want to be the saint, and they didn't even have the chance. It was too infuriating. "Hehe, it's too early to be happy now." A cold voice sounded as the Tianhong saint walked over with his men. "Tianhong, what do you want?" Ouyang Qingxiang also came over with her men to confront the Tianhong saint. "Don't worry, I won't do anything." The Tianhong saint glanced at Ouyang Qingxiang, then looked at Lu Ming and said, "To become a saint, you have to form your own faction and expand the strength of your faction. Only then can you participate in the competition for the position of sect leader." At this point, the Tianhong saint looked around and said, "I, Tianhong, hereby declare that whoever joins Lu Ming's faction will be my enemy." It was a threat, a blatant threat. The Tianhong saint was threatening everyone. Whoever joined Lu Ming's faction would be his enemy. The consequences of becoming the Tianhong saint's enemy were obvious. "Tianhong, don't you think it's too despicable for you to do this?" Ouyang Qingxiang said coldly. "P.S. Readers, I'm the shepherd boy Tingzhu. I recommend a free app that supports downloading, listening to books, zero ads and multiple reading modes." Chapter 2797. What do you mean by despicable? In this world only the winner takes all. How can I be despicable? The Tianhong saint sneered. In? Calm, that's right. Tianhong's opinion is also my opinion. At this moment, another voice was heard. Fuko Seiko also stepped forward. Her voice reverberated throughout the entire area. "I, Fu Guang, also declare that whoever joins Lu Ming's faction will be my enemy." Two successive saints had spoken, and the entire area quietened down. Originally, some neutral people who had not joined any faction were already tempted to join Lu Ming's faction when they saw how talented Lu Ming was. But now they were all hesitating. If they joined Lu Ming's faction, they would have to face the revenge of Fuko Seiko and the Tianhong saint. Could they bear this risk? Many people shook their heads secretly and gave up on the idea of joining Lu Ming's faction. Lu Ming's cultivation was still too weak. Although he was invincible in the true god realm, a true god could not be compared to a heaven god. Even if a true god was invincible, he would not be able to defeat a heaven god. Not to mention top geniuses like the Tianhong saint and Fuko Seiko. I Jixia also have the same opinion. I Shuetan also have the same opinion. Then the Saint Jixia and the Holy Lady Shuetan stepped forward one after another and expressed the same opinion as the Tianhong saint and Fuko Seiko. Lu Ming's talent was too strong and they felt great pressure. They could not let Lu Ming grow. The best way was to suppress Lu Ming before he grew. Without the support of others, no matter how strong Lu Ming's cultivation was, it would be difficult for him to become the sect leader of the Kongxian school. After 4 saints and holy ladies expressed their opinions, those who wanted to join Lu Ming's faction extinguished the thought in their hearts. These guys. Lu Ming glanced at the Tianhong saint Fuko Seiko, and the others with a cold glint in his eyes. Although he did not care about the position of the son of saint and did not want to be the headmaster of the Kongxian school in the future, he did not want to be the headmaster of Kongxian school. However, it was not Lu Ming's style to not resist being bullied like this. Now, if there is anyone who wants to join my faction, I, Lu Ming, swear that I will treat you with sincerity and entrust you with important tasks. Now, if you want to join my faction, feel free to sign up. Lu Ming's voice resounded throughout the entire area. Many people were tempted. If they joined Lu Ming now, they would definitely be put in an important position by Lu Ming and be entrusted with important tasks. Moreover, if Lu Ming developed, those who join now would definitely become his confidants. However, if he were to join now, he would be going against the great Sky Hong sage and the others. That was simply courting death. In the end, many people shook their heads and dismissed the idea. Lu Ming, I'll join your faction. A crisp voice rang out. Yu Linglong walked out and glared fiercely at the great Sky Hong sage Fuko Seiko and the others. The great Sky Hong sage, Fuko Seiko, and the others' faces darkened slightly. However, they knew that Yu Linglong's background was not to be underestimated. Naturally, they would not say anything. I'll join too. Wu Zifeng also ran over to join in the fun. However, other than the two of them, no one else stepped forward. Hee, the great Sky Hong sage was about to sneer and mock, but he was interrupted just as he started laughing. I'll join, a deep voice rang out. And Hai walked out of the crowd and flew towards Lu Ming. The great Sky Hong sage's sneer was stuck in his throat. His face was extremely ugly as he glanced coldly at Hai. And Hai's expression changed when the great Sky Hong sage's gaze swept over him. He felt immense pressure, but he still gritted his teeth and came before Lu Ming. Boss, I want to join your faction. Lu Ming nodded. He approved of Hai's big stature. Who is this lad? He is so daring to join Lu Ming's faction. He must be tired of living. Someone muttered softly. The great Sky Hong sage, Fuko Seiko, Saint Sun Jixia, and Saint Lady Shuatan had just said that joining Lu Ming's faction was going against them. They had just finished speaking when Hai jumped out and joined Lu Ming's faction. This was simply slapping their faces in public. If this was not courting death, then what was? Lu Zhang, Zhaofeng, what are you two standing there for? Hurry up and join boss's faction. Hai glanced at Lu Zhang and Zhaofeng. Lu Zhang and Zhaofeng's faces were as white as snow. Hesitation and struggle appeared in their eyes. In the end, the two gritted their teeth and walked out. We are willing to join Lu Ming's faction. We hope that Saint Sun Lu Ming will agree. Back then they had all sworn on their life origins to join Lu Ming. Now they could only bite the bullet. Okay, I agree to let you join. Lu Ming nodded. The great Sky Hong sage, Fuko Seiko, and the others' expressions became even colder. Their eyes were filled with killing intent as they scanned Hai and the others. Hai and the others broke out in cold sweat. Good. The three of you are very good. The great Sky Hong sage glanced at Hai and the others. He then waved his sleeves and strode away. Fuko Seiko, Saint Sun Jixia, Sacred Lady Shuatan, and the others did not say anything. They also turned and left. In the end, apart from Hai, Lu Zhang, and Zhaofeng, no one else joined Lu Ming's faction. However, Lu Ming was not in a hurry. No one wanted to join now, but that did not mean that no one would join in the future. It was not certain who would have the last laugh. Let's go. Lu Ming did not stay. He turned and left. Hai and the others followed. The Kangxian school competition had ended. Lu Ming's name had spread throughout the Kangxian school and even to the other sections. On the way, Lu Ming gave Hai, Lu Zhang, and Zhaofeng some resources so that they could cultivate properly. Lu Ming would not mistreat anyone who could join him in public under the pressure of the great Sky Hong sage. Lu Ming then returned to his residence and cultivated in peace. Is this little guy going to evolve? 2 days after returning, Qiu changed. It flew out of Lu Ming's wrist and landed in the courtyard, turning into a metal ball. Lu Ming could feel that there was a terrifying aura dormant within, as if it would erupt at any time. Bzzz, arcs of electricity appeared on the surface of Qiu. Ever since Qiu bit off a piece of bronze from the Bronze Gate a few years ago on the ancient god planet, it had been in a deep slumber, seemingly digesting that piece of bronze. Only now did it change. Lu Ming was looking forward to it. The Bronze Gate that appeared on the ancient god planet definitely had a shocking origin. Even many god kings could not break it open. Lu Ming was not sure what kind of change would happen after Qiu bit off the bronze and digested it. Someone's coming? At this moment, Lu Ming's eyes flashed and he walked out of the courtyard. A figure landed in front of Lu Ming. It was an elder with white hair and a white beard. Greetings, elder. Lu Ming cupped his fist. He could tell from the elder's attire that he was an inner elder. Saint Lu Ming, you're too polite. The elder did not dare to slight him and hurriedly returned the greeting. Chapter 2798. In the Kangxian school, the status of the Holy Sun was higher than that of the inner sect elders. Naturally, the elder did not dare to be careless. Renina. Elder, why are you looking for me, Lu Ming? Lu Ming asked. Today, I am here to give the Holy Sun token to Holy Sun Lu Ming. The elder smiled, then took out a jade box and handed it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming took the jade box and opened it. Lu Ming found that it was a token. This token was very similar to their disciple token, but the material was completely different. This token was made of an extremely rare material, the heavenly star gold. The heavenly star gold was a precious material that could be used to refine supreme-grade artifacts. What was a supreme-grade artifact? It was a divine artifact used by a supreme being. From this, it could be seen how precious this token was. Holy Son, you only need to drip a drop of blood on it, and this token will be bound to you. The elder said. Lu Ming understands. Thank you, elder. Lu Ming nodded. The elder nodded secretly. He was quite satisfied with Lu Ming's attitude. The other holy sons and holy daughters were extremely arrogant. When they met the inner sect elders, they also acted high and mighty. Lu Ming's humble attitude left a good impression on him. It's a pity that his cultivation is still a little weak. Competing with the Tianhong holy son, Fuko Seiko, and the others, his future is uncertain. When his cultivation is higher, I can consider joining his faction. The elder thought to himself. Holy Son Lu Ming, there is one more thing. The Holy Son can freely choose a holy divine technique to cultivate in the scripture depository. However, the Holy Son has already mastered the holy divine power, so there is no need for the divine technique. The old man reminded him again before taking his leave. What he did not know was that Lu Ming was overjoyed. It would be strange if Lu Ming wasn't happy that a holy prince could freely choose a saint-grade divine art to cultivate. This meant that he could cultivate another type of saint-grade divine art. 4 other people who had cultivated sacred divine power, the other sacred divine skills and techniques would not be of much use. However, Lu Ming was different. He had the heaven and earth myriad Tao scripture. The more divine skills and techniques he had, the better. Don't be a fool, Lu Ming smiled. When he returned to the courtyard, he found that little ball was still evolving. Lu Ming immediately left the courtyard and headed for the scripture depository. The scripture pavilion was still guarded by the same few old men. Little guy, you're here again. This time, what kind of divine skill or secret skill do you want to exchange for? One of the old men asked with a smile. In the past, Lu Ming had exchanged for several king-grade divine arts and secret skills. He even spent 50,000 points to exchange for the first level of the ultimate chill divine art. Therefore, the few old men had a deep impression of Lu Ming. Seniors, this time, I'm here to collect a saint-grade divine technique. Lu Ming said with a smile. What? Receive a saint-grade divine art? The few old men widened their eyes in disbelief. Little guy, this is not a joke. It's not that easy to receive a saint-grade divine art. One of the old men said with a smile. In order to receive a complete saint-grade divine art, one either had to be promoted to a holy prince, or have extremely high talent, character, loyalty, and so on. Only then could one receive a complete saint-grade divine art. Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the 3rd level of the true God realm. It was impossible for him to be a holy prince. This point was ruled out by them. Could it be that he was recognized by the sect's upper echelons and came here to receive a saint-grade divine art? The few old men thought in their hearts. Yes, I've just been promoted to a holy prince. This is my holy prince token. Lu Ming took out his holy prince token and handed it to the few old men. Oh, I see. What? Holy prince? The few old men did not react at first, but when they came to their senses, they almost jumped up from their seats. Lu Ming was actually a newly promoted holy prince? A 3rd-level true God realm cultivator had actually become a holy prince. This was beyond their expectations. One of the old men took the holy prince token from Lu Ming's hand and checked it. He found that there was no mistake. This little guy is really strange. In the end, the few old men came to a conclusion. Since you're a holy prince, you can naturally receive a complete saint-grade divine art. Which one do you want? I remember that you exchanged for the 1st level of the ultimate chill divine art. You want the ultimate chill divine art, right? One of the old men took a deep breath to calm himself down and smiled. In his opinion, since Lu Ming had already exchanged for the 1st level of the ultimate chill divine art, then this time he would definitely exchange for the complete ultimate chill divine art. Otherwise, wouldn't he have wasted his 50,000 points last time? He speculated that Lu Ming was most likely confident that he would become a holy prince and obtain the complete divine art. That was why he exchanged for the 1st level in advance and cultivated for a period of time. Senior, I want the ultimate mystery divine art. Lu Ming said. Kangxian School had a few saint-grade divine arts, and the ultimate mystery divine art was one of them. What? You want the ultimate mystery divine art? The few old men were stunned again. Lu Ming had exchanged for the first level of the ultimate chill divine art. Why did he exchange for the ultimate mystery divine art now? Little guy, I remember that you exchanged for the first level of the ultimate chill divine art. Why did you exchange for the ultimate mystery divine art now? You have to think carefully. One of the old men reminded him kindly. Senior, I've already thought about it. Lu Ming said. All right then, wait for a moment. I'll be back soon. One of the old men finished speaking and stepped into the scripture pavilion. Not long after, the old man took out a scroll and handed it to Lu Ming. Little guy, the complete ultimate mystery divine art is recorded in this scroll. Take it, but I have to remind you that without the approval of the sect, you can't spread it out privately. Do you understand? The old man said. I understand. Thank you, Senior. Lu Ming bowed and took the scroll. His heart was burning with passion. He immediately bid farewell to the few old men and returned to his residence. I'm old. I really can't understand young people nowadays. The few old men sighed again and again. They felt that they couldn't see through Lu Ming at all. A young man seemed somewhat unfathomable in their eyes. Lu Ming returned to his residence. Qiuqiu was still evolving. Lu Ming sat on the ground and took out the ultimate mystery divine art to read carefully. Lu Ming didn't need the complete ultimate mystery divine art. He only needed the first level. As long as he cultivated the first level, he would be able to condense ultimate mystery divine flame. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. During this month, Lu Ming cultivated the ultimate mystery divine art wholeheartedly. He finally cultivated the first level and successfully cultivated a strand of ultimate mystery divine force. After cultivating a strand of ultimate mystery divine force, Lu Ming switched to the universe myriad Dao technique. As time passed, the strand of ultimate mystery divine force grew stronger and stronger. Another few months passed in a flash. Suddenly, a light spot appeared in Lu Ming's dantian. All of the ultimate mystery divine force gathered towards this light spot. This light spot became more and more dazzling. Chapter 2799. In Lu Ming's dantian, a light spot became brighter and brighter. In the end, a flame appeared. The divine mysterious fire was successfully condensed. In Lu Ming's dantian, the sixth divine fire appeared. Of course, this divine fire had just been condensed and was still very weak. If he wanted to increase it to the same size as the other divine fires, he would need a period of diligent cultivation. This was not something that could be rushed. At this point, Lu Ming stopped cultivating. He began to cultivate the divine skill, the apocalyptic three strikes. Because after a series of battles, Lu Ming felt that the apocalyptic three strikes was about to break through. Lu Ming took out a long spear and began to cultivate in the courtyard. Swoosh, swoosh. The long spear danced like a real dragon swimming in the courtyard. However, the power was completely condensed into the long spear and did not leak out at all. Sky-piercing, moon-slashing, Lu Ming performed the first and second moves of the three strikes of annihilation over and over again, taking turns to perform them. Gradually, Lu Ming's comprehension of the three strikes of annihilation reached a peak. A few days later, swoosh. Lu Ming shook the long spear and the spear streaked across the sky. A crescent-shaped spear light flew into the sky and disappeared. I broke through. Lu Ming's eyes were extremely bright. Lu Ming finally broke through to the fifth level of the apocalyptic three strikes. After breaking through to the fifth level, whether it was the first move, sky-piercing, or the second move, moon-slashing, their power had increased by a level. Lu Ming was only a level 3 true god. It was absolutely amazing that he could cultivate the divine skill to the fifth level at this cultivation level. Ru Yu's cultivation level had been stuck in the true god realm for countless years, but he had only cultivated the divine skill to the peak of the fourth level. Those who were not talented enough could only cultivate the divine skill to the fourth level in the true god realm. Only a few extremely talented individuals would be able to reach a higher level. For example, Long Xian had cultivated the divine skill to the fifth level. Now, if I go all out, I might be able to defeat Long Xian. Lu Ming revealed a confident smile. Suddenly, Lu Ming's expression changed as he looked in Qiuqiu's direction. At this moment, Qiuqiu was emitting a powerful aura. This aura was extremely shocking. Luckily, the residences of the inner disciples were protected by a formation that could isolate the aura. Otherwise, the aura would definitely have alerted the others. This aura is so shocking. Qiuqiu is breaking through to the second layer of True God Realm. No, the third layer of True God Realm. Sensing Qiuqiu's aura, Lu Ming was delighted at first, but in the end he was shocked and his eyes widened. That was because Qiuqiu's aura was rising too quickly. Originally, Qiuqiu's cultivation was at the first level of the True God realm. At this moment he quickly rose to the second level of True God realm. After a while he rose to the third level of True God realm, and then the fourth level of True God realm. That was not all. Its aura continued to rise. Fifth level True God, sixth level True God, all the way until he reached level 8 True God before he stopped. From the first level of True God realm to the 8th level of True God realm in an instant, this speed was even faster than riding a space battleship. It would be strange if Lu Ming wasn't dumbfounded. Lu Ming was tongue-tied thinking that he was dreaming. At this moment Qiuqiu finally reacted. It turned its round and chubby body. Its expression was glossy and shiny, giving off a crystalline feeling. A pair of eyes and a big mouth appeared on its body, revealing a satisfied expression. Qiuqiu, you broke through to the 8th level of True God realm? Lu Ming asked. Yes. Suddenly, a figure rang in Lu Ming's mind. You can speak? Lu Ming was stunned. No, I'm talking to you with my mind, Qiuqiu said. Lu Ming was stunned and then nodded. Qiuqiu had such a high cultivation, it was normal for it to be able to communicate with him. One must know that in the heaven realm, demonic beasts of the martial king realm could speak. Qiuqiu was strange, but it was a True God realm after all. It was normal for it to communicate with its mind. 8th level of True God realm, it actually broke through to the 8th level of True God realm. That fragment of the bronze gate is too heaven-defying. Lu Ming was amazed. It was obvious that Qiuqiu had swallowed a small fragment of the bronze gate on the ancient god planet. That was why its cultivation had soared. It was just a small fragment, but Qiuqiu's cultivation had soared so much. If it swallowed the entire bronze gate, what realm would Qiuqiu reach? Would it directly reach the divine king realm? Or even more? Lu Ming's heart was burning with excitement, but then he shook his head helplessly. He had asked around before and found out that the bronze gate had not been opened yet. Now there were countless experts gathered at the bronze gate. There were even many divine king realm experts. Moreover, the major sects and forces had invited a few array masters to study the array on the bronze gate. It was impossible for him to get close to the bronze gate. He could only think of a way in the future. Lu Ming, do you want to spar with me? Qiuqiu's voice sounded again. 2 tentacles extended from its body like arms. It looked at Lu Ming with an arrogant expression. This guy is great. Come on, let's spar. Lu Ming laughed. He also wanted to know how strong Qiuqiu was after breaking through to the 8th level True God realm. Get ready. I'm afraid I'll hurt you. Qiuqiu's arrogant voice continued to sound. This guy is really confident. Lu Ming curled his lips and then circulated his divine power with all his might. The 6 divine fires in his dantian burned fiercely. Although the mysterious divine fire had just been formed, it still had some effect on Lu Ming's divine power. At the same time, Lu Ming activated the battle character formula and tripled his combat strength. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. Come on. Lu Ming stared at Qiuqiu. Swoosh. Qiuqiu's round body rushed towards Lu Ming. One of its arms rapidly changed into a big hammer and smashed towards Lu Ming. Rumble. The hammer smashed out and a violent explosion sounded in the air. What a strong power. As soon as Qiuqiu attacked, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He did not dare to be careless. Sky Piercer. Lu Ming stabbed out with his spear. Boom. A spear light collided with Qiuqiu's hammer and a violent explosion sounded. Buzz. Lu Ming's long spear vibrated crazily. Lu Ming's body shook violently and flew out like a cannonball, crashing into the wall of the courtyard. Runes appeared on the walls of the courtyard, blocking Lu Ming's path. It was fortunate that the courtyard was protected by a large formation. Otherwise, the courtyard would have been destroyed by the explosion just now. Amazing, amazing. Lu Ming felt his arm aching. The web between his thumb and forefinger was cracked and blood flowed out. After a collision, Lu Ming was completely at a disadvantage. The power of Qiuqiu's move was extremely terrifying. It was definitely not weaker than Long Xian's all-out attack. Qiuqiu is only at the 8th level True God realm, but its power is so strong. Its power is probably comparable to that of a genius who controls divine-grade divine power. Lu Ming thought. Chapter 2800. In the past, Qiuqiu's strength was comparable to a prodigy with divine power. But now it was even stronger. It was probably comparable to a prodigy with divine power. How is it? Amazing, right? Qiuqiu's proud voice rang out. Interesting. Let's try again. Lu Ming revealed a strong fighting spirit. He kept activating the battle formula, wanting to quadruple his fighting strength. Come, let me tell you. My strength is not limited to this. Qiuqiu waved its two arms, as proud as it could be. Boom. After dozens of activations, Lu Ming finally activated quadruple his fighting strength. Third strike of extinction, moon slashing. This time, Lu Ming really exerted his full strength and used the moon slashing move. With Lu Ming's current strength, he could probably suppress Long Xian if he used this move with his full strength. It was shockingly powerful. Whoosh. A crescent-shaped spear light slashed towards Qiuqiu. Here I come. Qiuqiu shouted and retracted its arms. Its round body spun rapidly and smashed towards Lu Ming. Clang. Another terrifying collision. The crescent-shaped spear light collided with Qiuqiu's body. At the moment of collision, the crescent-shaped spear light shook violently and then shattered. Then Qiuqiu's body slammed into Lu Ming's spear. Lu Ming's spear shook violently. He felt a terrifying force surging towards him. It was as if he was hit by a planet. Lu Ming's body flew out again and crashed into the wall of the courtyard. This time Lu Ming spat out a mouthful of blood. He felt as if all the bones in his body were about to break. Lu Ming, are you all right? Qiuqiu asked with concern. I'm fine. This is just a small injury. What's the big deal? Lu Ming braced himself. How could he embarrass himself in front of Qiuqiu? Qiuqiu, is this all your strength? You're really powerful. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Qiuqiu's strength was probably close to the heavenly god realm. It was truly astonishing. Even if he attacked with all his strength, he was still no match for it. Of course not, I still have a power that I haven't used yet, Qiuqiu said proudly. With that, a sizzling sound came from its body as strands of lightning appeared. It's this kind of lightning? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This lightning was exactly the same as the lightning on the bronze door, except that it was much thinner. Lu Ming, do you want to try the power of my lightning? Qiuqiu said as it blinked its large eyes. There was a hint of malice in its eyes. I'll give it a try then. Come on. Lu Ming was very confident in his own defense. With a thought, 9 ice chains flew out and wrapped around him. Then 9 layers of golden red armor appeared on his body. Fully armed. Are you sure you're ready? Qiuqiu asked softly. Of course, cut the crap. Come, you can't hurt me. Lu Ming had a confident look on his face. Sizzle. Bolts of lightning emerged from Qiuqiu's body and gathered into a bolt of lightning that was as thick as an arm. It charged at Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. In the next instant, the lightning struck Lu Ming. Then a charred man with messy hair and smoking body appeared in the courtyard. Lu Ming, are you all right? You were the one who wanted to try it? Qiuqiu said fearfully. I'm fine. How could anything happen to me? Lu Ming said through gritted teeth. He had never imagined that Qiuqiu's lightning would be so powerful. His ice shackles and crimson golden armor couldn't withstand it at all. They collapsed in an instant. The terrifying lightning directly burned his entire body black. Qiuqiu had probably shown mercy at the critical moment. Otherwise, he would have been in an even worse state. Amazing, amazing. Lu Ming immediately became excited. The power of Qiuqiu's lightning was completely on par with that of a celestial god. Some of the weaker celestial gods probably weren't even this strong. The stronger Qiuqiu was, the happier Lu Ming was. Lu Ming immediately took a divine pill to recover from his injuries. He then washed himself and changed into a new set of clothes. Lu Ming, are you there? At this moment, Yu Linglong's voice came from outside. She sounded rather worried. Qiuqiu turned into a bracelet and wrapped it around Lu Ming's wrist. Lu Ming walked out of the courtyard. Lady Yu, what happened? Lu Ming asked. Lu Ming, it's bad. Anhai, Lu Chang and Zhao Feng have been beaten up, heavily injured. Yu Linglong said. Beaten up? Lu Ming's brow creased, a cold light flashing through his eyes. Who did it? Lu Ming asked. I don't know yet. I came to find you as soon as I heard the news. Zifeng went to see them first. Yu Linglong said. Let's go. Lu Ming stepped into the air and flew toward the residence of Anhai's group. Very soon Lu Ming and Yu Linglong arrived at Anhai's residence. When they pushed the door open and entered, they could smell the stench of blood. Anhai, Lu Chang and Zhao Feng were all present, but they were in very wretched states. Lu Chang and Zhao Feng were limp on the ground, their faces ghastly pale and their auras weak. Lu Ming could tell at a glance that all their bones had been broken. The most wretched was Anhai. Half of his body had been blasted apart, blood flowing everywhere. One could even see his organs. At this moment, Wu Zifeng was treating Anhai's wounds. Boss. At the sight of Lu Ming, Anhai struggled to bow to him. Don't move. Focus on healing. Lu Ming hurriedly stopped him, his eyes flashing with cold killing intent. The person who had done this was extremely vicious. If it weren't for the fact that they were in the Kongshan school and didn't dare to violate the rules of the school, On Hai and the others would probably already be dead. Even so, On Hai and the others had probably suffered quite a bit. Fortunately, On Hai and the others' injuries weren't fatal. With their divine bodies they could recover very quickly. Several hours later, Lu Chang and Zhao Feng's bones had been reconnected, and their auras had stabilized. On Hai's shattered body was also rapidly healing as new flesh and blood grew out of it. Who did this? At this time Lu Ming spoke coldly. On Hai, Lu Chang, and Zhao Feng's expressions froze as they looked at each other. Boss, we're fine. Let's just forget about this matter. On Hai said. Just forget about it? How can I just forget about humiliating my people? Will anyone in the Kongshan school take me seriously in the future? Lu Ming coldly said. He knew that On Hai and the others were thinking for him, but Lu Ming wouldn't just let it go. Who did this? Lu Ming asked again. Boss, let's just forget about it. On Hai tried to persuade Lu Ming to let it go again. In the name of the sacred sun, I demand that you speak. Who did this? Lu Ming's tone became even colder. On Hai's words came to an abrupt halt. In the end, On Hai sighed and said, Lu Feiyun did it. Lu Feiyun? Lu Ming froze. He had never heard of this name before. Chapter 2801. Lu Feiyun, he's from the Tenho Seiko faction. Lu Chang said. It's really the Tenho Seiko faction. Lu Ming's eyes flashed coldly and his killing intent was as sharp as a knife. He had already guessed that the culprit was either the Tenho Seiko faction, Fuko Seiko faction, Holy Prince Jixia, or Holy Princess Xuatan. It must be one of them. You're courting death, Lu Ming said coldly. Boss, don't be rash. Lu Feiyun is a first-level heavenly god and he's a capable subordinate of the great Hong Saint. He's extremely powerful and Long Xian can't be compared to him. An Hai quickly said. First-level heavenly god? So what? Tell me his address. Lu Ming said in a commanding tone. The Tenho Seiko faction had supreme talents who had reached the heavenly god realm, but none of them had Saint-grade divine force. Being in the heavenly god realm and in control of Saint-grade divine force, he could even become a saint himself. Only the Paragon Saint would have such a character. Lu Ming had Qiuqiu's help and he might be able to defeat a first-level heavenly god with king-grade divine force. He must get revenge for this. Otherwise, as a holy prince, he would become a joke in the Kongshan school and no one would dare to join his faction. And Hai, Lu Chang, and the others did not dare to disobey Lu Ming and they obediently told him Lu Feiyun's address. Rest well. I'll get revenge for this. After saying that, Lu Ming turned around and left. Lu Ming, wait a minute. Don't be rash. I'm afraid this is the other party's ploy. They deliberately injured An Hai and the rest to provoke you into taking action. Once you take action they will be justified in dealing with you. Yu Linglong quickly said. Don't worry. Lu Ming waved his hand and flew out. He could guess the other party's intention, but they had underestimated his strength. Oh no, I have to inform my cousin. Zifeng, come with me. Yu Linglong said and then rushed to Ouyang Qingxiang's residence with Wu Zifeng. In a luxurious garden in the inner area, a group of people were drinking and chatting happily. The leader of the group was Lu Feiyun. Haha, it's so satisfying to have beaten up Lu Ming's subordinates this time. Indeed, those idiots are really daring. The Holy Prince said that those who join Lu Ming's faction would be going against the Holy Princes. Those guys didn't give the Holy Prince's face and joined Lu's. They are really courting death. They are just a few reckless dogs. Seeing that Lu Ming has some talent, they want to cozy up to him. However, they don't know that Lu Ming can fight with the saint. He can't even protect himself. Some of the young men laughed as they drank. I wonder how Lu Ming will deal with it this time? Someone said. He only has two options. The first option is to swallow his anger. However, if he does that, his reputation will be completely tarnished. His subordinates have been so badly abused by others, yet he still swallows his anger. In the future, no one will join Lu Ming's faction. He will no longer be able to compete with the saint. The second option is that he comes to me for revenge. That's good. I'll give him a good beating and break all his bones. I'll make him kneel in front of me like a dog. Lu Feiyun sneered. That was their plan. No matter what Lu Ming did, he would fall into their trap. What a brilliant plan. The Holy Prince's plan is really brilliant. Lu Ming still wants to fight with the Holy Prince. He's really courting death. The other young men immediately began to flatter him. Lu Feiyun, get out here. At that moment, a loud roar came from outside. The entire courtyard seemed to shake. Lu Feiyun and the others were slightly stunned. Is that Lu Ming's voice? Someone was bewildered. Yes, that's Lu Ming's voice. I didn't expect that kid to really dare to come. Good. Lu Feiyun's eyes flashed with coldness and excitement. He got up and strode outside. The other young people followed. When they walked out of the courtyard, they saw Lu Ming standing alone in the void. His whole body was emitting a cold light. You're Lu Feiyun? Lu Ming's gaze fell on Lu Feiyun immediately. Among the people present, only Lu Feiyun gave him an unfathomable feeling. Yes, I'm Lu Feiyun. Lu Ming, why are you looking for me? Do you want to lower your head and apologize to the Holy Prince? Ah. Lu Feiyun laughed. The other young people also laughed with disdain. Today I'll break your bones and make you kowtow to my subordinates and apologize. Lu Ming said coldly. Lu Feiyun and the others stopped laughing. They then stared at Lu Ming as if they were looking at an idiot. Break Lu Feiyun's bones and make him kowtow to his subordinates and apologize? Where did Lu Ming get his confidence from? Is that so? Why don't you try? Lu Feiyun's eyes flickered with excitement. He was waiting for Lu Ming to make his move. Bang! A powerful aura burst out from Lu Ming's body. A strong pressure lingered above the area. He's about to make his move. Meanwhile, many figures had appeared around the area and were observing the battle from afar. This area was originally the area where inner sect disciples gathered. Lu Ming's loud roar earlier had already alarmed the inner sect disciples in the vicinity. Lu Ming is looking for Lu Feiyun and said he's going to break his bones. Is he out of his mind? He's out of his mind. Lu Feiyun is a level 1 heavenly god and a capable subordinate of the Tianhong Saint. This Lu Ming is too arrogant. Who cares? There's a good show to watch. It'll be fun if a saint is tortured. The surrounding people discussed among themselves. Many of them were waiting to watch a good show. Bang! Lu Ming did not waste any more time and made his move. He used his full strength. During the conversation just now, Lu Ming had already started to trigger the battle formula. He only made his move when he successfully triggered the quadruple combat power. A huge spear light pressed down on Lu Feiyun and the others like a mountain. This power, beside Lu Feiyun, the other youths all revealed looks of shock. Even the several peak true divinity existences were trembling with fear. They simply couldn't block this move. Only Lu Feiyun remained calm. You want to fight me with such strength? Ignorant. With one hand behind his back, Lu Feiyun stretched out his other hand and blasted out a palm strike. A palm print flew out and hit the spear light. Bang! The spear light shook violently and shattered. The terrifying palm force charged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's body shook violently and he retreated madly. He only came to a stop after retreating for 100 miles. Is this the strength of a heavenly god? It's amazing. Lu Ming squinted his eyes. Lu Feiyun did not use his full strength just now. However, the power was much stronger than Long Xian, who was ranked 6th on the True God ranking. There was a huge gap between the Heavenly God realm and the True God realm. Chapter 2802. You dare to fight me with this little bit of strength? Be suppressed. Lu Feiyun said coldly. His body flashed and he charged towards Lu Ming. He pressed down with one hand and a huge palm was formed, pressing down on Lu Ming. Third apocalyptic strike, moon slashing. Lu Ming roared. His divine power surged as he executed the third apocalyptic strike, moon slashing. A crescent-shaped spear light slashed towards the palm print. At the same time, 9 ice chains flew out from Lu Ming's body and rushed towards the palm print. Boom! There was an earth-shattering explosion that shook the mountains and the earth. Lu Ming's body was once again pushed back 100 miles and he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. However, Lu Ming managed to block Lu Feiyun's palm print. Moreover, Lu Ming's divine body was extremely strong. His ancient god heart flowed with streams of blood energy and Lu Ming's injuries were completely healed in an instant. So powerful. All around, the spectators all revealed looks of amazement. Today, regardless of the result, Lu Ming's combat strength was shocking. He was able to block Lu Feiyun's attacks consecutively. Lu Feiyun's face turned gloomy. Although he did not use his full strength, he was still a heavenly god after all. He felt ashamed that he could not suppress Lu Ming even after attacking consecutively. He was about to continue attacking, but Lu Ming beat him to it. Now it's my turn. Lu Ming shouted and executed the 9 Heavens Garuda technique. In a flash, he appeared above Lu Feiyun's head and slashed down with his long spear. It was still the moon slashing. At the same time, 9 ice shackles flew down and wrapped around Lu Feiyun. Insignificant skill. Lu Feiyun said coldly and threw out another palm print. Although he had only used one palm, he had already unleashed more than 90% of his divine power. He wanted to completely suppress Lu Ming with this palm. Ball. At this moment Lu Ming's mind moved. Ball flew out and turned into a huge metal ball that flew towards Lu Feiyun. Boom. Lu Ming's attack and Qiuqiu's attack hit Lu Feiyun's palm at the same time. Boom. An even more terrifying vibration erupted. Lu Feiyun's palm shook violently and cracks appeared on it. How is this possible? Lu Feiyun's eyes involuntarily widened, revealing a look of disbelief. He had never imagined that Lu Ming would be able to break through his attack. Boom. Following that, Lu Feiyun's palm print directly collapsed, and Lu Ming's long spear swept out. Lu Feiyun hastily retreated, but he was already a step too late. Blood splattered everywhere. Lu Feiyun's body was cut open by the spear light, and the wound was so deep that his bones could be seen. Boom. Lu Feiyun erupted with all his might. His divine power swept out like a tidal wave, blocking Lu Ming and Qiuqiu's follow-up attacks. Lu Feiyun is actually injured. The surrounding onlookers were stunned. Anger. Lu Feiyun himself was furious. His entire body was filled with terrifying killing intent. His eyes were incomparably ferocious as he stared at Lu Ming. He was a dignified heavenly god expert, but he was actually injured by Lu Ming, a third-layer true god. This was simply a humiliation to him. He wished he could tear Lu Ming into pieces. Good, very good. Lu Ming, today I will make you beg for death. Lu Feiyun said ferociously. The aura on his body became even more terrifying. A pair of divine tool gloves appeared on his hands. Swoosh. Lu Feiyun turned into a bolt of lightning and charged towards Lu Ming. His hands continuously struck out, and several huge palm prints blasted towards Lu Ming. The power was much stronger than before. This was Lu Feiyun's true battle strength. It was absolutely powerful. One had to know that the divine power he controlled was king grade. It was even stronger than those first-layer heavenly gods who controlled ordinary divine power. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. He activated the 9-layered crimson golden armor and controlled the 9 icy chains. He then executed the Armageddon 3 strikes towards Lu Feiyun. At the same time, Qiuqiu also spun rapidly, cooperating with Lu Ming to attack Lu Feiyun. Lu Ming did not let Qiuqiu execute that kind of lightning. It was not the time yet. That kind of lightning could only be used at the crucial moment to have a miraculous effect. Boom. Boom. The two sides clashed once again, resulting in a terrifying explosion. Lu Ming let out a long roar. His long hair fluttered as he exerted all his strength to the maximum. At the same time, Qiuqiu also unleashed his full strength. Even so, Lu Ming and Qiuqiu were still at a disadvantage. The two of them were suppressed and kept retreating. The divine power of a heavenly god was incomparably strong. Every move was filled with explosive power, pressuring Lu Ming to the point of suffocation. If it weren't for Qiuqiu resisting most of the pressure, Lu Ming would have been defeated long ago. In the blink of an eye, the two sides had exchanged more than 10 moves. Gotcha. Cracks appeared on the 9-layered crimson gold armor on Lu Ming's body. It was already on the verge of collapsing. As for the ice shackles, they began to emit cracking noises as well. Condense for me. Lu Ming shouted. Endless divine power gushed out from the quantifying character formula. Lu Ming maintained his peak condition all along. The crimson gold armor on his body became dazzling. The 9 ice chains also became solid. What's going on with this kid? Lu Feiyun was secretly alarmed. Logically speaking, Lu Ming was only a 3rd-level true god. In such a high-intensity battle, his divine power should have long been depleted. But until now, Lu Ming maintained several divine techniques at the same time and was still as lively as a dragon or a tiger. He was simply a freak. Burning blood technique. Seeing that the battle was going on for a long time, Lu Feiyun became anxious and directly used his trump card. His body was covered in a layer of fiery red blood light, as if his blood was burning. At the same time, his combat strength also suddenly increased by several notches. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming and Qiuqiu were sent flying at the same time, retreating wildly. Especially Lu Ming, who even spurted out a mouthful of blood. Kill! Lu Feiyun roared and charged toward Lu Ming. His palm turned into a claw and grabbed at Lu Ming, as if he wanted to crush Lu Ming's bones. Come on. Lu Ming's eyes revealed a crazed look. He fully operated several divine techniques and secret techniques. His essence, energy and spirit were highly concentrated. Suddenly, the crimson gold armor on Lu Ming's body became more solid and the light became brighter. Lu Ming was overjoyed. The 9-layered crimson gold armor had broken through to the 5th layer, and its defensive power had increased greatly. This kid, Lu Feiyun, was extremely shocked. Of course he had noticed Lu Ming's breakthrough. So what if you broke through? You want to block my attack? Dream on. Lu Feiyun increased his speed and attacked Lu Ming. Swoosh, swoosh. Lu Ming controlled 9 ice chains and entangled toward Lu Feiyun. The ice chains had boundless power to deal with people in the true God realm. But facing the celestial God realm Lu Feiyun, it seemed somewhat inadequate. Under Lu Feiyun's attack, the ice chains crumbled continuously. Moon severing. Lu Ming shouted. The long spear slashed down. A crescent-shaped spear light chopped toward Lu Feiyun. Suppress for me. Lu Feiyun was not afraid at all. His claw grabbed at the spear light directly, bringing along a terrifying force wave. Chapter 2803. While Lu Feiyun was attacking Lu Ming, Qiuqiu was also attacking Lu Feiyun. However, Lu Feiyun ignored Qiuqiu. He already knew Qiuqiu's strength. He used a defensive divine skill that was enough to block Qiuqiu's attack. He wanted to suppress Lu Ming first before dealing with Qiuqiu. Boom. Lu Feiyun's claw grabbed Lu Ming's spear light and shattered it. A terrifying force poured down on Lu Ming. Boom. At the same time, Qiuqiu smashed heavily on Lu Feiyun's body, but it was blocked by his defensive divine skill. Now Qiuqiu lightning, Lu Ming shouted with his mind. Buzz buzz buzz. Streaks of lightning emerged from Qiuqiu's body and gathered into a bolt of lightning that was as thick as an arm and blasted towards Lu Feiyun. Boom. This bolt of lightning directly pierced through Lu Feiyun's defense and hit his body. Lu Feiyun screamed and his body trembled violently. The force that was attacking Lu Ming was also reduced by more than half. His claw grabbed Lu Ming's crimson gold armor and sent Lu Ming flying. Even so, Lu Ming was still seriously injured and spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. However, Lu Feiyun was in an even worse state. He didn't have much defense against Qiuqiu. After the previous battle, he already knew Qiuqiu's strength. He never expected that Qiuqiu also had a terrifying lightning. Therefore, Qiuqiu's lightning struck him directly, causing pain as if his body was being torn apart. His body was also numb and he couldn't move for a moment. Qiuqiu, continue. Lu Ming shouted. The strength of a heavenly god was too shocking. Even if Lu Feiyun was hit directly, he probably wouldn't be seriously injured. Now was the best time to completely suppress Lu Feiyun. Buzz buzz buzz, dazzling lightning emerged from Qiuqiu's body again. How dare you? Stop it. Several youths with Lu Feiyun roared and pounced towards Qiuqiu, trying to stop him. Get lost. Lu Ming didn't care about his injuries. He used the Garuda technique and rushed toward those people, his long spear sweeping out. Bang, bang, bang. Those few youths were merely true god realm and could not withstand the current Lu Ming at all. They were directly swept flying out by the spear light, smashing onto the ground and vomiting large mouthfuls of blood. With just a single move he was severely injured. At this moment, Qiuqiu's second lightning bolt had already shot out and struck Lu Feiyun's head. Lu Feiyun let out a blood-curdling scream. His entire body was pitch black and smoke was coming out of his body. His body had been split open, and the moment blood flowed out, it was burned by the lightning and turned into green smoke. But Lu Ming seized the opportunity and dashed over. The 9 ice chains appeared again and entangled Lu Feiyun. The terrifying chill froze Lu Feiyun in an instant. Bang! The ice chains swung Lu Feiyun up and smashed him onto the ground, creating a large pit. There were cracking sounds coming from Lu Feiyun's body. No one knew how many bones in his body were broken. Lu Feiyun was severely injured and had no strength to fight back. The spectators were dumbfounded. They did not expect this to be the outcome. Lu Ming, who was in true god realm, came to fight Lu Feiyun. The final result would be Lu Feiyun being defeated and severely injured. I have said that I want you to kneel down and kowtow to my subordinates. Now kneel down to me first. Lu Ming said coldly. He controlled the ice chains to control Lu Feiyun and wanted him to kneel down. Lu Ming, how dare you? Lu Feiyun roared and struggled madly. However, he was already severely injured. All the bones in his body were broken and he was bound by the ice chains. He couldn't break free at all. Plop. He was forced to kneel in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming, I will kill you. Lu Feiyun roared hysterically. His eyes were red and his murderous intent was extremely cold. What are you shouting for? You should have thought of this when you injured my subordinates. Now go and kowtow to my subordinates and apologize. Lu Ming wanted to bring Lu Feiyun back to Enhai's residence so that Lu Feiyun could kowtow to Enhai and the rest. The others sighed. Lu Ming was really domineering. How dare you? Let him go. At this moment, a loud roar came from afar. At the same time, a terrifying aura spread toward them. Tianhong Saint. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Hearing the voice, Lu Ming knew that the Tianhong Saint had arrived. Lu Ming moved and landed beside Lu Feiyun. In the next moment, a young man appeared in the sky and looked down at Lu Ming. Who else could it be but the Tianhong Saint? The Tianhong Saint's gaze fell on Lu Feiyun. Seeing Lu Feiyun in such a miserable state, a cold murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Lu Ming, do you know that Lu Feiyun is my subordinate? The Tianhong Saint said coldly with an icy voice. So what if I know? So what if I don't know? Lu Ming sneered. You hurt my men. I will make you pay 10 times the price. The Tianhong Saint said. Before I pay the price, I'm afraid he will be crippled. Lu Ming pointed at Lu Feiyun. Do you think you can use him to threaten me? Naive. The Tianhong Saint sneered. As soon as he finished speaking, his body disappeared from the spot. Oh no, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He focused his mind and tried to capture the Tianhong Saint's figure. But at this moment, a terrifying pressure pressed down on Lu Ming. Lu Ming felt as if he had sunk into a swamp. Break for me, Lu Ming roared and unleashed his full strength. A spear radiance shot up into the sky and broke through the surrounding pressure. However, just as Lu Feiyun regained some freedom, his 9 ice chains shook violently and shattered into pieces. Lu Feiyun was swept away by a gust of energy. Then not far from Lu Ming, the Tianhong Saint appeared. He held Lu Feiyun in his hand. What powerful strength! Lu Ming's heart sank. The Tianhong Saint's strength was above his expectations. Just now, the Tianhong Saint had suddenly taken action and rescued Lu Feiyun from his hands. He did not even have time to react. Unfathomable. Lu Ming felt that the Tianhong Saint's cultivation was at least of the 3rd level of the heavenly god realm. Moreover, the divine power that he controlled was definitely of the sacred grade. It was not something that Lu Feiyun could compare to. With your strength you still want to fight with me. Today I will cripple you. The Tianhong Saint was very powerful. Golden divine power jumped around his body and formed a terrifying wave that pressed down on Lu Ming. Bam, bam, bam. Lu Ming retreated continuously. He could not withstand the pressure and retreated more than 10 steps. It was the same for Qiuqiu. Due to the pressure, it retreated continuously and landed on Lu Ming's shoulder. There was a grave expression in its eyes. Chapter 2804. Kid, you're playing with fire this time. Bone Demon sighed in his sea of consciousness. Senior, is there any way for me to have the strength to contend with Tianhong? Lu Ming asked. This time, Lu Ming did not expect the Tianhong Saint to rush over so quickly. However, given Lu Ming's character, even if he knew, he would still come to deal with Lu Feiyun. Swallowing his pride was not Lu Ming's character. That kid is very powerful. With your current strength, there is only one way to have the strength to contend with the Tianhong Saint in a short period of time. That is to completely ignite the ancient god's heart. That way you will gain great power in a short period of time. However, the consequence is that your ancient god's heart may disappear completely. This is a huge price to pay. Bone Demon sighed. Ignite the ancient god's heart? It will disappear completely? Lu Ming frowned. Being able to condense the ancient god's heart was a great opportunity. This kind of opportunity could only be found by chance. If it was lost, it would be gone. Lu Ming was reluctant. With the ancient god's heart, his divine body could grow larger at any time. In the long run, the benefits would be amazing. However, if there was no other way, he could only give it a try. Lu Ming first kneeled down. The Tianhong Saint looked down from above. His aura was like the sea, constantly pressing down on Lu Ming. At the same time, he stretched out a palm and pressed down. A huge palm, like an ancient sacred mountain, pressed down on Lu Ming. The palm had yet to reach him, but the terrifying pressure had already caused Lu Ming's body to creak and make creaking sounds. There was no way to resist. The difference between the two was too great. Regardless of whether it was Lu Ming or Qiuqiu, they were all very weak in front of the Tianhong Saint. It seems that I can only ignite the ancient god's heart. Lu Ming revealed a determined look. Although the ancient god's heart was precious, it was nothing compared to his life. Come on. Lu Ming was enraged. He was about to erupt and ignite his ancient god heart. Right at this time, a delicate cry sounded out, Tianhong, you're a dignified celestial deity realm holy son. To actually make a move to deal with a third-level true god person, you're really shameless. If you want to fight, I'll be your opponent. Before he could finish his words, a streak of sword chi had already flown over from the distance, reminiscent of an otherworldly deity. Boom. The sword light struck the great Sky Hong Saint Sun's palm print and exploded with a violent boom. The palm print trembled and was split into two by the sword light. Whoosh. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the distant sky. Ouyang Qingxiang. At the critical moment, Ouyang Qingxiang made her move. She slashed apart the great Sky Saint's palm. It wasn't that Ouyang Qingxiang was much stronger than the Heavenly Hong Saint. It was just that the Heavenly Hong Saint hadn't used his full strength in that move. In order to save Lu Ming, Ouyang Qingxiang had used even more strength. That was why she had been able to split open the Heavenly Hong Saint's palm imprint with one move. Lu Ming heaved a sigh of relief. Ouyang Qingxiang had arrived. It seemed like he didn't need to burn the ancient god's heart. After all, the ancient god's heart was too precious. Unless it was absolutely necessary, Lu Ming couldn't bear to waste it. Ouyang Qingxiang, are you trying to be a busybody? The Heavenly Hong Saint Sun's face turned cold as he stared coldly at Ouyang Qingxiang. What do you mean by being a busybody? Lu Ming and I are friends. If you want to deal with him, you're dealing with me, Ouyang Qingxiang said. Do you think that you can stop me? The Heavenly Hong Saint Sun snorted coldly. His body emitted a golden divine power as his aura grew stronger. You'll know once you try. Although you became a saint earlier than me, you might not be able to defeat me, Ouyang Qingxiang said coldly. Ouyang Chang said coldly as a powerful sword chi burst out from his body and pierced through the sky. Holy Lady Qingxiang and the Heavenly Hong Saint Sun are about to fight. It's been a long time since the saints and holy ladies have fought. I'm looking forward to it. I wonder who's stronger? I don't know. Although Holy Lady Qingxiang became a holy lady later, her talent is amazing. She might not be weaker than the Heavenly Hong Saint Sun. I didn't expect Lu Ming to be friends with Holy Lady Qingxiang. Speaking of which, Lu Ming is really terrifying. If he grows up, he might surpass the other saints and holy ladies. Only the supreme saints can fight him. Yeah, I wonder how today's matter will be resolved. More and more people gathered in the area. Even some of the inner sect elders appeared to watch from afar. Divine Dragon Palm. Suddenly, the Heavenly Hong Saint Sun let out a long roar as his divine power erupted. He formed seals with both hands and waved them out. A huge dragon claw was formed and grabbed at Ouyang Qingxiang. Green Lotus Sword Song. Ouyang Qingxiang muttered. Her sword aura surged as she waved her sword. A green sword radiance burst out and slashed at the huge dragon claw. Boom. A terrifying collision erupted, causing thousands of ripples. It was as if the entire intersect area was shaking violently. Let's fight. Ouyang Qingxiang's voice rang out as her body turned into a green sword radiance and rushed into the sky. Brr. A dragon's roar came from the Heavenly Hong Saint Sun's body. His body underwent a huge change in an instant. The Heavenly Hong Saint Sun's body became tall and sturdy. His muscles bulged and his body was twice as big as before. A layer of golden scales appeared on the surface of his skin. They shone brightly under the sunlight. Those were dragon scales. More shockingly, the Heavenly Hong Saint Sun grew a tail. A dragon's tail. Dragon human race. Lu Ming squinted his eyes as he recognized the Heavenly Hong Saint Sun's race. The Heavenly Hong Saint Sun was from the dragon human race. Lu Ming had seen this race before. In the Yellow Springs Mountain Yellow Springs world, there was a country formed by the dragon human race. Divine Dragon Palm. The Heavenly Hong Saint Sun revealed his true form. His combat strength was even stronger as he continuously used the Divine Dragon Palm. In the sky, 9 golden dragon claws formed consecutively and grabbed at Ouyang Qingxiang. Green Lotus Sword Song. Sword shakes the world. Ouyang Qingxiang turned around and streaks of green sword chi shot out, slashing at the golden dragon claws. In the sky, there was an uproar as the two of them engaged in an intense battle. The scene was extremely shocking. Lu Ming's face turned solemn. With his current strength, he was still a far cry from the Heavenly Hong Saint Sun and Ouyang Qingxiang. You're only a level 4 heavenly god. Lu Ming, don't belittle yourself. With your talent, you'll catch up to them in a few years. Gumo's voice sounded as though he had seen through Lu Ming's thoughts. Level 4 heavenly god? Lu Ming nodded. He wondered how the other saints and saintesses of the Kongshan school were. Swoosh, swoosh. Just then 2 figures flew over from afar. They were Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng. Lu Ming, are you all right? Yu Linglong asked. I'm fine. Did you inform Saintess Qingxiang? Thank you. Lu Ming smiled. Lu Ming knew that Ouyang Qingxiang must have been informed by Yu Linglong and Ouyang Qingxiang and rushed over. It's good that you're fine. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng nodded and looked up at the battle in the sky. Chapter 2805. At that moment, Ouyang Qingxiang and the Tianhong Saint had already exchanged more than 100 moves, but it was still difficult to determine the victor. The Tianhong Saint's face darkened. Ouyang Qingxiang, you forced me to do this. I'll show you my true trump card. Divine Dragon Dharma Idol, come out. The Tianhong Saint roared as his divine power surged. Half of the sky was dyed golden. Then a dragon's roar shook the 9 heavens. A huge true dragon appeared above the Tianhong Saint's head. No, it should not be called a true dragon. In the desolate universe, all true dragons that reached the martial god realm were called divine dragons. Seeing this divine dragon, Lu Ming was dazzled. He thought that he had returned to the era when the divine wilderness continent was fighting for supremacy. This move was very similar to the move that the Tianhong Saint used when he was below the martial monarch realm. However, this was clearly not a bloodline technique but a secret technique. A divine dragon formed with a secret technique had a terrifying aura. What shocked Lu Ming the most was that this divine dragon did not have 5 claws but 6. 6 claws, what's going on? Could it be a mutated divine dragon? Lu Ming's mind was racing. Back then, when Lu Ming had just gone to the Yuanlu, he had met Qiu Yingying. Her bloodline was a 6-clawed true dragon. In the Heaven realm and the Yuanlu realm, dragons had 6 claws. Those with more than 7 claws were considered mutated true dragons, such as the 9 dragons. Therefore, Lu Ming naturally thought that the divine dragon formed by the Tianhong Saint was also a mutated one. The 6-clawed golden dragon roared as its body, which was tens of thousands of meters long, pounced at Ouyang Qingxiang. Azure Lotus Sword Song, God-slaying sword. Facing the Tianhong Saint's secret technique, Ouyang Qingxiang's expression turned grave. She also executed her secret technique. Countless azure sword lights burst out from her body. These sword lights gathered into an azure lotus flower. It spun and flew toward the 6-clawed golden dragon. The 6-clawed golden dragon roared and clawed at the azure lotus with its claws. There was a deafening explosion. The sky was boiling and a terrifying force surged in all directions. This was the most powerful collision between the saint and the saintess. The scene was astonishing. However, something happened to Lu Ming's body. He felt his body burning up and the blood in his body seemed to be boiling. In fact, the roar of a dragon could be heard from Lu Ming's blood. This is the sound of the 9 dragons. Lu Ming was astonished. Lu Ming had once refined 9 drops of blood essence from the 9 dragons. As Lu Ming's cultivation continued to rise, these 9 drops of blood essence fused with Lu Ming's blood and remained hidden within his body. The Great Sky Saint's secret technique had actually caused the 9 dragons' blood essence to react. This secret technique is so powerful. If I can get my hands on it, I will definitely be able to cultivate it to an extremely high level. Lu Ming's mind spun as his eyes burned with passion. He had a feeling that the Great Sky Hong Saint's mystic technique was very suitable for him. This was a desire that came from the 9 dragons' blood essence. The battle between the Great Sky Hong Saint and Ouyang Qingxiang became even more intense. However, Ouyang Qingxiang was already at a disadvantage. The Great Sky Hong Saint's mystic technique, the Divine Dragon Aspect Art, was so powerful that it started to suppress Ouyang Qingxiang. Of course, it wasn't that Ouyang Qingxiang's Green Lotus Sword Song wasn't powerful. Ouyang Qingxiang's Green Lotus Sword Song was also terrifyingly powerful. However, Ouyang Qingxiang's cultivation was slightly weaker than the Great Sky Hong Saint's. The Great Sky Hong Saint's cultivation was at the peak of the 4th level Heavenly God realm, while Ouyang Qingxiang was at the early stage of the 4th level Heavenly God realm. At the beginning of the battle, the difference couldn't be seen. However, as the battle dragged on, the difference gradually became apparent. If this continued, it would be disadvantageous for Ouyang Qingxiang. Ouyang Qingxiang, I've said that you can't stop me. The Great Sky Hong Saint roared as he circulated the Divine Dragon Aspect Art with all his might. The 6-clawed golden dragon's power became even more terrifying. Ouyang Qingxiang didn't say a word as she resisted with all her might. It wouldn't be easy for the Great Sky Hong Saint to win in a short period of time. Below, Lu Ming's eyes shifted as he suddenly revealed a determined look. Great Sky Hong, don't you want to attack me? I'll give you a chance. Lu Ming shouted, and his voice reverberated throughout the entire arena. Many people looked curiously at Lu Ming, including the Great Sky Hong Saint and Ouyang Qingxiang. How about I make a bet with you? Lu Ming said. What bet? The Great Sky Hong Saint asked. If you attack me, I'll take one move from you. However, it's only one move. After that, you'll have to leave. Lu Ming said. His words caused an uproar among the crowd. What? Lu Ming wants to take one move from the Great Sky Hong Saint? Crazy, he's crazy. He's courting death. That's right. One move from the Great Sky Hong Saint is terrifying. With Lu Ming's cultivation, he'll definitely die. He knows that the Great Sky Hong Saint won't back down today, so he wants to take a gamble. Everyone looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. Lu Ming, you can't. Yu Linglong shouted. That's right, Brother Lu. The Great Sky Hong Saint's cultivation is too strong. You can't take this risk. Wu Zifeng also spoke. If Lu Ming were to take one move from the Great Sky Hong Saint, he would definitely die. A cold, murderous intent flashed across the Great Sky Hong Saint's eyes as he said, Is what you said true? Of course it's true. However, I have a condition. If I can take one move from you and not die, you have to give me your Divine Dragon Aspect technique. Lu Ming said. This was his plan. He wanted to obtain the Great Sky Hong Saint's Divine Dragon Aspect technique. You want my Divine Dragon Aspect technique? Dream on. The Great Sky Hong Saint's voice became extremely cold. Why not? I'm betting my life with you. If I can't take one move from you, I'll die. Isn't it worth it for me to pay such a high price for a secret technique? Also, do you have no confidence in yourself and think that you can't kill me in one move? Lu Ming sneered. I have no confidence? What a joke. Alright, I'll bet with you. The Great Sky Hong Saint said loudly. With his cultivation, he could kill Lu Ming with just one move, let alone using his full strength. Why wouldn't he dare to bet? He could take the opportunity to get rid of Lu Ming completely. Lu Ming, you don't have to take the risk. I can stop him. Ouyang Qingxiang sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. It's okay. I'm confident. Don't worry, Saintish Qingxiang. Lu Ming replied. Ouyang Qingxiang's eyes flickered a few times. Then, she quickly retreated and distanced herself from the Great Sky Hong Saint. The two of them stopped. Hey Lu Ming, what are you trying to do? Do you want to die? Even if you want to die, don't drag me down with you. At this moment, the Bone Demon in Lu Ming's mind was stamping with rage. Senior Bone Demon, I can only rely on you to decide whether I live or die this time. Lu Ming said. Look at me? Look at my ass. Brat, you're courting death. Go and face it yourself. The Bone Demon roared. Senior Bone Demon, are you going to watch me be killed? If I'm killed, I'm afraid I'll never be able to complete Senior Jingyu's matter. Lu Ming sighed. You're threatening me? The Bone Demon roared. Chapter 2806. I wouldn't dare to threaten you. Given my current situation, I have no choice but to take a risk. Lu Ming sighed. Guillemot was so angry that his bones were trembling. He gritted his teeth and said, Alright, I'll help you one more time. Let me tell you, this is the last time. Besides, I don't have much energy left. I might not be able to help you block that kid's attack. Take care of yourself. Senior, you just need to block a part of his attack for me. Leave the rest to me. Lu Ming said happily. Guillemot could only agree. Boom. At that moment, the Tianhong Saint appeared above Lu Ming. His violent aura kept pressuring Lu Ming. A six-clawed divine dragon circled above the Tianhong Saint's head. It looked mighty. Kid, do you have any last words? I'll give you a chance. The Tianhong Saint said coldly. He was full of confidence. If he attacked with all his strength, even an ordinary level 4 heavenly god would be crushed to pieces, let alone Lu Ming. Let's do it. Lu Ming's eyes were full of fighting spirit. The 6 divine fires in his dantian jumped. A crimson golden armor appeared in front of Lu Ming. At the same time, 9 ice chains flew out and surrounded Lu Ming. Qiuqiu turned into a pool of liquid metal and climbed onto Lu Ming's body. It then turned into armor on Lu Ming's body. In Lu Ming's mind, Gumo's body glowed. A stream of energy flowed into Lu Ming's body and formed a layer of defense. Petty tricks. Go to hell. The Tianhong Saint shouted coldly. His eyes were full of murderous intent. Brr. The 6-clawed divine dragon roared and grabbed Lu Ming with one of its dragon claws. He wanted to kill Lu Ming in one move. Originally, in the Kongshen school, it was forbidden to kill fellow disciples, especially when Lu Ming was a saint. However, Lu Ming had asked to take the Tianhong saint's attack. This way it wouldn't be within the restrictions of the sect. This was also the reason why the Tianhong saint agreed. He could take the opportunity to kill Lu Ming. Otherwise, Lu Ming would hide in the sect and it wouldn't be easy for him to kill Lu Ming. He's attacking. Can Lu Ming block it? Lu Ming is dead. Everyone's gaze was focused on Lu Ming as thoughts flashed through their minds. Boom. The golden dragon claw was like a small mountain, bombarding Lu Ming's body. The first to bear the brunt of the attack was the ice chain. Bam, bam, bam. Almost in an instant, the 9 ice chains shattered and exploded. What a terrifying power! Lu Ming was secretly taken aback. He then felt an incomparably powerful force, as though it could topple the mountains and trample the seas, pressing down on him. Block it for me, Lu Ming let out a long howl and unleashed all his power. However, when the divine dragon's claw pressed down, the rocks under Lu Ming's feet exploded and crumbled. A huge pit appeared. Lu Ming was blasted into the huge pit. Smoke and dust filled the air, and Lu Ming's figure couldn't be seen anymore. How is it? Is Lu Ming dead? He's definitely dead. With his cultivation, he'll definitely die if he takes the Tianhong saint's attack. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the huge pit. They wanted to know Lu Ming's situation. Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, Wu Zifeng, Ouyang Qingxiang, and the others also stared at the huge pit with worried expressions. Humph, this brat is finally dead. A smile appeared on the Tianhong saint's face. He had absolute confidence in that attack of his. Although he had not used all of his strength in that attack, he had used 80% of his strength. Even with 80% of his strength, he was confident that he could kill Lu Ming. However, in the next moment, the smile on the Tianhong saint's face disappeared and was replaced by disbelief. Damn it, how is that possible? The Tianhong saint roared in anger. Cough, cough, cough. At this moment, a dry cough came from the huge pit. When the smoke and dust dissipated, the crowd could finally see the situation clearly. They saw Lu Ming lying in the huge pit, covered in blood. He was also coughing up blood. Lu Ming was seriously injured, but he wasn't dead. He's not dead. He's not dead. He's not dead. Oh my God, with his cultivation, he took the Tianhong saint's attack head-on and didn't die. How is that possible? Many people cried out in disbelief. However, Yu Linglong, Ouyang Qingxiang, and the others were ecstatic. This brat is indeed powerful. Lu Ming coughed up a few more mouthfuls of blood and circulated his divine power to heal his injuries. He was indeed seriously injured in the previous attack. The Tianhong saint's power was too strong. His own defense collapsed in an instant. Qiuqiu was also injured. It turned into a bracelet and attached itself to Lu Ming's hand. If not for Gumo's help, he definitely wouldn't have been able to withstand the Tianhong saint's attack and would have been killed. However, in the end he managed to withstand the attack. He had made the right bet. Damn it, kill. The Tianhong saint was enraged and revealed a frenzied killing intent. He took a step forward and an earth-shattering force blasted towards Lu Ming. Tianhong, you're despicable. Ouyang Qingxiang had been staring at the Tianhong saint for a long time. When the Tianhong saint attacked, Ouyang Qingxiang also attacked. She slashed out with her sword and a sword radiance blocked the Tianhong saint's attack. Tianhong, you made a bet with Lu Ming on one move. Now that you didn't kill Lu Ming with one move, you want to make a second move. Do you have the right to be the Kongshen school's saint when you go back on your words? Ouyang Qingxiang shouted angrily. The Tianhong saint could only stop. Many people had seen the bet between him and Lu Ming. Now he couldn't go back on his word even if he wanted to. Tianhong, you've lost. Hand over the divine dragon aspect art. Lu Ming struggled to get up and looked at the Tianhong saint. The Tianhong saint's face was terrifyingly gloomy. He stared at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, I've underestimated you this time. However, it's impossible for me to hand over the divine dragon aspect art. Change your condition. I'll try my best to satisfy you. The Tianhong saint actually wanted to go back on his word. I don't need to change my condition. I want the divine dragon aspect art. We agreed on it during the bet. Tianhong, are you going back on your word now? Lu Ming said. The Tianhong saint's murderous intent had reached its peak. He had agreed to Lu Ming's bet because he didn't expect to lose. He thought that he would definitely win. That was why he agreed to Lu Ming's bet. Lu Ming, don't push your luck, the Tianhong saint said coldly. The Tianhong saint said coldly. His threat was obvious. What do you mean push my luck? What a joke. I'm just getting what I deserve. I risked my life for it. Tianhong, hand over the divine dragon aspect art. Lu Ming said loudly. The Tianhong saint gritted his teeth. He wished he could chop Lu Ming into pieces. However, so many people had seen it today. If he went back on his word in public, it would damage his reputation greatly. It would also be disadvantageous for him to compete for the position of the Kongshan School's sect leader. What right did a person who went back on his word have to be in charge of the Kongshan School? Chapter 2807. Lu Ming, the Divine Dragon Aspect Technique requires the bloodline of the Divine Dragon to be cultivated. You don't have the bloodline of the Divine Dragon. Even if I give it to you, you won't be able to cultivate it. The Tianhong Saint said. You don't have to worry about that. You just need to give me the Divine Dragon Aspect Technique. Lu Ming said plainly. The Tianhong Saint gritted his teeth, but he had no choice. His palm glowed and a scroll appeared in his hand. For you, the Tianhong Saint waved his hand, and the scroll flew out with a terrifying whistling sound. Needless to say, the scroll contained a terrifying power. Ouyang Qingxiang caught the scroll in a flash. She came to Lu Ming's side and handed it to Lu Ming. Thank you. Lu Ming thanked her and took the scroll. He opened it and read it. After reading it, Lu Ming's face darkened. He looked coldly at the Tianhong Saint and said, The Divine Dragon Aspect Technique you gave me is incomplete. Are you going back on your word? Although he had never come into contact with the Divine Dragon Aspect Technique, he could still tell if a secret technique was complete. The Divine Dragon Aspect Technique that I obtained was incomplete in the first place. Otherwise, do you think you can stop me? The Tianhong Saint said coldly. Tianhong, if you want to go back on your word, just say it. You don't have to find such excuses. Lu Ming sneered. I said that the Divine Dragon Aspect Technique I obtained is incomplete. Don't you understand? The Tianhong Saint's face darkened. Lu Ming, this is true. I heard that the Tianhong Saint's Divine Dragon Aspect Technique was obtained from an ancient relic. It is indeed incomplete. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. It seemed that the Tianhong Saint was not lying. Let's go. In the air, the Tianhong Saint snorted, waved his sleeves and turned to leave. He had suffered a great loss today. Not only did he fail to kill Lu Ming, but he also lost the Divine Dragon Aspect Technique. In his heart, he had already put Lu Ming on his must-kill list. The Great Sky Saint and his people left with their tails between their legs. Fragrant fragrance Saintess, thank you for saving me this time. Lu Ming cupped his fists towards Ouyang Qingxiang to express his gratitude. This time, if not for Ouyang Qingxiang, he would not have had the chance to bet with the Great Sky Hong Saint. The Tianhong Saint had only agreed to the bet because he could not win over Ouyang Qingxiang. You're too polite. You'll have to rely on yourself this time. Ouyang Qingxiang's beautiful eyes flickered as her curiosity towards Lu Ming grew. Lu Ming was only a third-level true god and could actually receive a move from the Great Sky's Holy Sun and not die. The Tianhong Saint's son was a peak fourth-level celestial god. By the way, Saint Qingxiang, why does the Tianhong Saint's Divine Dragon Aspect have 6 dragon claws? Lu Ming voiced out the doubts in his heart. That's a 6-clawed divine dragon. Don't tell me you don't even know that? Ouyang Qingxiang said. 6-clawed divine dragon? I really don't know much about the dragon clan. Lu Ming smiled awkwardly. Among the dragon clan, the most ordinary dragon clan has 5 dragon claws. As for the higher-ranked dragon clan, they have 6 or even 7 dragon claws. Ouyang Qingxiang explained. 6 dragon claws, 7 dragon claws? Isn't it because of a mutation? Lu Ming asked again. Mutation? How is that possible? The more dragon claws a dragon clan has, the purer their bloodline and the higher their level, the more talented and powerful they are. Most of the dragons in the dragon clan are 5-clawed divine dragons. 6-clawed divine dragons are already considered high-level divine dragons. There are very few of them. The more of them there are, the more talented and powerful they are. However, there are fewer of them. I heard that the highest-level divine dragon in the dragon clan has 9 dragon claws and is known as the 9-clawed divine dragon. Ouyang Qingxiang explained. I see. Looks like my previous understanding of the dragon clan was wrong. Lu Ming murmured to himself and suddenly realized something. In the past, all the true dragons in the primordial realm had 5 claws, so the occasional 6-clawed or even 9-clawed dragon was considered a mutation. In fact, that wasn't the case. The more dragon claws a dragon clan had, the stronger the ancient bloodline in the dragon claws. It seems that the 9 dragons aren't a mutation, but a sign that the ancient bloodline in their bodies is extremely rich. What a pity. Thinking of this, Lu Ming sighed. He felt that it was a pity that the 9 dragons were born in the heaven realm, which was a small world. He was afraid that their talents weren't stimulated at all. The 9-clawed dragon was the highest level divine dragon in the untainted universe. If the 9 dragons were born in the untainted universe, their achievements would be limitless. Lu Ming, if you're interested in the dragon clan, you can find some related books to read. These are common knowledge in the untainted universe. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Okay. Lu Ming nodded. However, he thought that common knowledge might not be the case. In the chaotic galaxy, the understanding of the dragon clan was probably very limited. Otherwise, the ancestor of techniques and even the ancestral dragon would know the origin of the 9 dragons. They all thought that the 9 dragons were a mutation of the true dragons. Immediately, Lu Ming, Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng all left. Lu Ming first went to Enhai's residence to help Enhai and the others heal. A few days later, Enhai and the others' injuries were no longer serious. Lu Ming then returned to his residence to cultivate and heal his injuries. He had taken a blow from the heavenly Hong Saint, and his injuries were severe. It took him half a month to fully recover. After his injuries were healed, Lu Ming took out the secret art, Divine Dragon Dharma Image Art, and read it carefully. The Divine Dragon Dharma Image Art was incomparably mysterious. After successfully cultivating it, one could condense a Divine Dragon Dharma image. Its power was extremely shocking. Moreover, the power of the Divine Dragon Dharma image was closely related to the concentration of the Divine Dragon's bloodline in the cultivator's body. The higher the grade of the bloodline, the purer the Divine Dragon Dharma image would be. A few days later, Lu Ming had almost figured out the Divine Dragon Dharma image art. He then cultivated according to the records. Unexpectedly, Lu Ming's cultivation was extremely smooth. There was no difficulty at all. In just half a month, Lu Ming had successfully cultivated it. Lu Ming sat cross-legged in the courtyard and cultivated the Divine Dragon Dharma image art. A dragon's roar came from his body. Then a divine dragon condensed above Lu Ming's head. This divine dragon was only a few meters long. The size of the Divine Dragon Dharma image could be controlled at will. If Lu Ming wanted to, he could make the Divine Dragon Dharma image tens of thousands of meters long. What was shocking was that there were 8 dragon claws on its abdomen. An 8-clawed divine dragon. The Tianhong Saint had only cultivated a 6-clawed Divine Dragon Dharma image. However, Lu Ming had cultivated an 8-clawed Divine Dragon Dharma image. However, Lu Ming was not satisfied. He frowned slightly. He originally thought that the Divine Dragon Dharma image that he cultivated should be a 9-clawed dragon. Chapter 2808. As expected, this godly dragon aspect technique is incomplete. If it were complete, I would definitely be able to cultivate the 9-clawed godly dragon aspect, and I might even be able to cultivate more than 1, 2, 3, 4, or even more are all possible. Lu Ming thought to himself. He had a strong desire for the complete divine dragon aspect technique. Thinking about it, once he started fighting, he could directly condense dozens of divine dragon aspects. How powerful would that be? The divine dragon aspect technique was simply too suitable for him. Without a doubt, condensing a divine dragon aspect would consume a lot of divine power. However, Lu Ming cultivated the universe myriad Dao technique and was able to cultivate multiple divine flames. His divine power was much stronger than others. Furthermore, he had the quantifying character formula, so he didn't have to worry about running out of divine power. The Great Sky Saint's divine dragon aspect technique was obtained from an ancient ruin. Then, does that ancient ruin have a complete divine dragon aspect? Lu Ming pondered. He really wanted to obtain the complete divine dragon aspect technique. Once he obtained it, his battle strength would increase greatly. Let's go ask Ouyang Qingxiang and see if she knows. Thinking of this, Lu Ming left the courtyard and headed towards Ouyang Qingxiang's residence. The residence of the saintess was naturally extraordinary. It occupied an entire mountain peak and there were people guarding it. How impressive. It's a pity that there are too few people relying on me. Otherwise, I could also apply for a mountain peak to live in. Lu Ming thought to himself. Of course, he only had a few subordinates now. If he applied for a mountain peak with no one living in it, it would be a joke. Stop. When Lu Ming arrived at the mountain peak, he was blocked by several young women. However, when the few young ladies saw Lu Ming's appearance clearly, they looked at him with admiration. Holy Sun Lu Ming, it's you. Holy Sun Lu Ming, are you looking for our saintess? The young and beautiful women blinked their big eyes, curiously sizing up Lu Ming. Lu Ming had only joined the Kongshan school for a few decades, but he had already become a holy sun with his true immortal realm cultivation. Since ancient times, beauties loved heroes. Naturally, they would be curious and worship him. Yes, I'm looking for Saintess Qingxiang. Please inform her. Lu Ming said with a slight smile. Holy Sun Lu Ming, please wait a moment. Immediately, a young woman flew towards the mountain peak. After a while, several figures flew out. The person in the lead was Ouyang Qingxiang. Lu Ming, why are you looking for me today? Come please. Ouyang Qingxiang smiled and flew toward the mountain peak with Lu Ming. They came to a pavilion and sat opposite each other. I came here today to inquire about Tianhong's Divine Dragon Aspect Technique. Saintess Qingxiang said that Tianhong's Divine Dragon Aspect Technique came from an ancient ruin. I wonder where that ruin is? Lu Ming asked. Looks like Brother Lu is eyeing the complete Divine Dragon Aspect Technique. However, if you want to cultivate the Divine Dragon Aspect Technique, you need a strong Divine Dragon bloodline. Otherwise, even if you get it, you won't be able to cultivate it. Why does Brother Lu want the Divine Dragon Aspect Technique? To give it to someone? Ouyang Qingxiang asked curiously. Of course, to cultivate it myself. Lu Ming said with a smile. Cultivate it yourself? Ouyang Qingxiang was even more curious. But in the next moment, her beautiful eyes widened as a divine dragon appeared above Lu Ming's head. Divine Dragon Aspect, and it's an 8-clawed Divine Dragon Aspect. Ouyang Qingxiang's red lips widened in shock. It took her quite a while to recover. Brother Lu, I've underestimated you. I didn't expect you to have the Divine Dragon bloodline in your body. Moreover, you managed to cultivate an 8-clawed Divine Dragon Aspect in just a month. I wonder what Tianhong's expression will be when he sees this? Ouyang Qingxiang exclaimed. It's a pity that the Divine Dragon Aspect Technique that Tianhong gave me is incomplete. Lu Ming sighed. Ouyang Qingxiang finally knew why Lu Ming wanted to obtain the complete Divine Dragon Aspect Technique. Tianhong obtained the Divine Dragon Aspect Technique from an ancient ruin. All these years he has been keeping the ruin a secret and has been secretly excavating it. I guess he wants to obtain the complete Divine Dragon Aspect Technique, but he hasn't succeeded. In the past, I had secretly dispatched people to investigate that remnant. Thus, I knew where it was located. Ouyang Qingxiang said. I know. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Ouyang Qingxiang nodded and said, that relic is in a more remote place in the Qintian star sector. It's called the Yellow Wind Galaxy. Lu Ming, if you want to go there, I can accompany you. Thank you. Lu Ming stood up and thanked her. With Ouyang Qingxiang's help, his confidence would be much higher. There's no time to lose. Let's set off now. Ouyang Qingxiang was also a swift and decisive person. She and Lu Ming immediately went to Kongshan School's transmission array and took it to Yellow Wind Star River. The Yellow Wind Star River was very far away from the mysterious sky sect. The two of them took a full month and a half to arrive on a planet in the Yellow Wind Star River. Then they took the interstellar battleship and flew toward their destination. After flying for a few more days, a strange planet appeared in front of them. From afar, this planet looked like a dragon's head. It was as if a huge divine dragon had its head chopped off. Its head floated in the air and formed the planet. This is the Dragon Head planet. There are no living creatures on this planet. It's a desolate place. The Divine Dragon Aspect Technique that Tianhong obtained is on this planet. Tianhong is probably on this planet now. We'd better be careful to avoid alerting him. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Lu Ming nodded. Immediately, the two of them exited the interstellar battleship and appeared in the starry sky. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, he could still fly in the starry sky for a short period of time. Ouyang Qingxiang, on the other hand, was in the heavenly god realm. She could already cross the starry sky with her own strength. The two of them concealed their aura and flew toward Dragon Head planet. Soon, the two of them entered the atmosphere of Dragon Head planet and landed on a mountain peak. The relic should be in the east. Let's go. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Dragon Head planet was not very big. It was much smaller than the other planets with life. In a short while, they had flown across more than half of the planet. A huge mountain range appeared in front of them. It looked like a divine dragon lying on the ground. Suddenly they saw a figure flashing by. The two of them quickly hid and watched from afar. At the head of the mountain range there was a huge cave entrance. A group of people was guarding the entrance. There were both young people and old people. It's Tianhong's people. It seems that Tianhong is really here. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Lu Ming frowned slightly. Tianhong's people were guarding the cave entrance. How were they going to enter? Chapter 2809. Lu Ming and Ouyang Qingxiang decided to wait on the spot. They wanted to wait for the Skybright Saints' men to leave before entering the ruins. However, a month had passed and the Skybright Saints' men did not show any signs of leaving. Saint Qingxiang, what are the cultivation levels of the guards? Lu Ming asked. Some of them are very strong. They are outer sect elders. Some are in the 3rd level of the heavenly god realm, and 2 of them are in the 4th level. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Oh. Lu Ming's eyes flickered and said, Saint Qingxiang, can you help me lure them away? I'll enter the cave quietly. It's not a problem to lure them away, but the Skybright Saint might be in the cave. There might be other experts inside. I'm afraid it'll be dangerous if you go in. Ouyang Qingxiang said. I won't act rashly. I'll go in quietly and hide. I won't expose myself if I'm not confident. Lu Ming said. All right, let's do that. Ouyang Qingxiang was a decisive person. She nodded and the 2 of them approached the cave. The cave was huge and dark. They could not see what was inside. There were a dozen people outside the cave. They looked listless. There were no other living beings in the cave. They were guarding the cave just in case. Whoosh. At this moment, Ouyang Qingxiang rushed out. Who's there? Immediately, an old man shouted. It's the Saint Qingxiang. She wants to enter the ruins. Stop her. The gatekeepers roared and attacked Ouyang Qingxiang one after another. Half of them were in the heavenly god realm. There were also 2 in the 4th level of the heavenly god realm. They were very strong. However, Ouyang Qingxiang was the Saint Qingxiang. She controlled Saint Divine Power and was very strong. She easily blocked their attacks. Go and report to the Saint that Ouyang Qingxiang is here. I'll go. Suddenly, an old man rushed into the cave and disappeared. The others focused on dealing with Ouyang Qingxiang. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Lu Ming moved quickly along the ground. He used the obstacles on the ground to hide himself. The other party did not notice him. Lu Ming successfully rushed into the cave. The cave was pitch black. It was unfathomably deep. Lu Ming slowly slid down along one side of the wall. After sliding down for tens of thousands of meters, they finally reached the bottom of the cave. There was a tunnel at the bottom of the cave. It was a few thousand meters tall, and the walls were inlaid with luminous stones that emitted a faint glow. Lu Ming dashed into the passageway and kept moving forward. Someone's here. Suddenly, Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat, and he hurriedly hid in a groove on the wall. The walls of the passageway were uneven. Some places were protruding while others were concave. It was very easy to hide. After they hid well, a few figures flashed through the tunnel. Lu Ming could clearly see that it was a group of old men. They should have gone to help deal with Ouyang Qingxiang. They were in a hurry and didn't notice Lu Ming. After the few elders left, Lu Ming continued to head toward the passageway. Not long after, Lu Ming passed through the passageway and arrived at a huge underground space. That is, when Lu Ming arrived he was stunned. The underground space was very vast. At the front, there was a huge stone staircase that was tens of thousands of meters tall. At the top of the staircase was a palace that looked like the legendary Dragon Palace. At the bottom of the staircase there were a few figures standing. Lu Ming immediately saw that one of them was the Great Hong Saint. There were also 2 other people. They were 2 old men. The 2 of you, go out together and take down that bitch Ouyang Qingxiang. The Great Hong Saint's cold voice rang out. But Saint, once we go out, you will be the only one left here. One of the old men said hesitantly. It's fine. I'm about to climb the sacred dragon staircase. On the sacred dragon staircase, no matter who it is, they will be under terrifying pressure. They will also be protected. No one can harm me if they come in. Put it down. The Great Hong Saint waved his hand. All right, then we'll go out. The 2 old men nodded, and with a flash of their figures they rushed outside. The Great Hong Saint looked at the staircase with a fiery glow in his eyes. I don't believe that I can't climb it. I can definitely do it. The Great Hong Saint growled. His body swelled up and transformed into the form of a dragon human. Golden divine power emanated from his body as he stepped onto the staircase. Bam! When the Great Hong Saint stepped onto the staircase there was a loud boom. It was as if a mountain had crashed onto the ground. The Tianhong Saint landed steadily on the first step. Then he stepped forward and stepped onto the second step. With every step he took, the staircase would rumble. It was as if every step he took was extremely heavy. There is indeed a strong pressure on the staircase. Lu Ming pondered. He took a look and understood what was going on. He had encountered this type of test many times. The Great Sky Hong Sage's speed was very fast at the start. Before long he had crossed half the distance and his speed started to slow down. Clearly the further he went, the greater the pressure he was under. A dragon's roar came from the Great Hong Saint's body. The golden dragon scales on his body shone even more brightly. He looked determined as he slowly climbed step by step. Unfortunately, after a while, the Great Hong Saint's body seemed to have stopped moving. I don't believe it. I don't believe that I can't go up. My dragon blood boil for me. The Great Hong Saint roared. The surface of his body was suffused with a blood-red glow. A six-clawed divine dragon appeared above his head. He even used the divine dragon Dharma body. As a result, the Great Hong Saint was able to continue climbing. Unfortunately, when he was 2/3 of the way up the staircase, he stopped completely. He could not take another step. Damn it. What? Could it be that my divine dragon bloodline is not rich enough? What? The Great Hong Saint roared. He was extremely indignant. Is there the complete divine dragon Dharma body technique up there? Lu Ming guessed. Since the Great Hong Saint wanted to climb the staircase so badly, there was a high possibility that the complete divine dragon Dharma body technique was up there. Closer. Lu Ming followed the obstacles at the side and slowly approached the staircase. He was getting closer and closer to the palace above the staircase. At this moment, Lu Ming actually felt that his blood was slowly boiling. At the same time there was a thirst. Yes, it was a thirst. It was a feeling that appeared automatically in his blood. It was as if there was something on the staircase that deeply attracted Lu Ming. I must go to the top of the palace. Lu Ming muttered. His gaze was resolute. He had made up his mind. There was a strong pressure on the staircase. The others seemed unable to go up. The Great Hong Saint also did not have the strength to attack. Lu Ming was not afraid. Chapter 28:10. Lu Ming made up his mind. He wanted to go up. Lu Ming was a decisive person. Since he had made up his mind, he would not hesitate. He had no time to hesitate. If Ouyang Qingxiang could not hold the Skybright Saint's men back, he would be in trouble when the experts returned. Swoosh. Lu Ming did not hesitate any longer. He rushed out and headed for the stairs. The moment Lu Ming rushed out, the Skybright Saint noticed Lu Ming. Lu Ming, it's you. The Skybright Saint roared, his killing intent exploding. However, he was on the stairs. He could not kill Lu Ming even if he wanted to. Bam. Lu Ming landed heavily on the first step of the stairs. There was a loud boom. Immediately, Lu Ming sensed a powerful force coming from above the stairs. It was as though the mountains and seas were overturning. It was pressing toward Lu Ming, wanting to blast him out of the stairs. Humph, you want to climb the Saint Dragon stairs without the divine dragon bloodline? You are daydreaming. The Skybright Saint sneered and took a few steps down. He was waiting for Lu Ming to be blasted off the Saint Dragon stairs. Then he would kill Lu Ming. This time he wanted Lu Ming to die a horrible death. However, in the next moment his body stiffened. Lu Ming was not blasted off the stairs as he had expected. Instead he was standing steadily on the stairs. You have the divine dragon bloodline? The Skybright Saint asked in a gloomy voice. In this world, the dragon human tribe is not the only one with the divine dragon bloodline. Lu Ming smiled faintly. It turned out that only those with the divine dragon bloodline could climb the stairs. If one did not have the divine dragon bloodline, they would be blasted off the stairs by the power of the stairs. When Lu Ming stepped on the stairs, he was almost blasted off. At the critical moment, the 9 dragons' blood essence in his blood boiled, allowing him to stand on the stairs. So what if you have the divine dragon bloodline? Can you climb up? If you can't climb up, you'll die when you're exhausted. The Tianhong Saint said coldly. Then he strode down the stairs. As he walked back, he was very relaxed. Soon, the Tianhong Saint reached the first step and came to Lu Ming's side. However, there was a force guarding the steps, so he could not attack Lu Ming. Glancing at Lu Ming with murderous intent, the Heavenly Hong Saint stepped out of the staircase and landed outside, guarding it. He was waiting for Lu Ming to be exhausted and fall down. Then he could make a move to kill Lu Ming. You can just wait patiently. Lu Ming smiled contemptuously, then turned around and strode up the stairs. Bang, bang, bang. With every step he took, the stairs would rumble. Lu Ming's speed was very fast. Very soon he had taken a few hundred steps. He was even faster than the Tianhong Saint. This kid, how is he so fast? The Tianhong Saint's face was ghastly. The pressure is getting stronger and the difficulty is getting higher. This kid definitely can't go up. He definitely can't. The Tianhong Saint roared in his heart. He was a supreme talent of the dragon human race. The divine dragon bloodline in his body was very thick, comparable to the six-clawed divine dragon. He did not believe that Lu Ming, a human, could have a thicker divine dragon bloodline than him. However, reality slapped him in the face. Lu Ming's speed did not slow down at all. Soon he was halfway up the stairs. Then he was halfway up the stairs. This was already the Tianhong Saint's limit. However, Lu Ming had reached this point in one breath. At this point, Lu Ming's speed slowed down. The pressure here was already very shocking. The blood in Lu Ming's body was circulating rapidly as if it was going to burn. A dragon's roar came from the blood. A lifelike 9 dragons shuttled back and forth in the blood. There was a layer of blood mist on the surface of Lu Ming's body. Then, the blood mist gathered in the air to form 9 dragons that roared into the sky. 9-clawed dragon. This is a 9-clawed dragon. The Tianhong Saint roared in disbelief. He was so shocked that he almost jumped up. He would never have dreamed that Lu Ming's body actually contained the highest grade 9-clawed dragon bloodline among the divine dragons. No wonder this kid can walk so fast. It turns out that his body contains the 9-clawed dragon bloodline. If I can take the 9-clawed dragon bloodline from his body and use it for my own use, my talents will increase many times over. At this thought, the Tianhong Saint's eyes were filled with greed. The 9 dragons appeared and the pressure on Lu Ming lessened. His speed increased again. Soon, Lu Ming was only 100 steps away from the end of the stairs. However, the pressure on the last 100 steps was also the most terrifying. Lu Ming's body trembled with every step he took. Divine Dragon Aspect Art. Lu Ming roared and activated the Divine Dragon Aspect Art. An 8-clawed divine dragon appeared above his head. The 8-clawed divine dragon roared and pounced forward to help Lu Ming break through the pressure on the stairs. Instantly, the pressure was lifted again and Lu Ming quickly ascended. Divine Dragon Aspect Art, damn it! At the sight of Lu Ming using the Divine Dragon Aspect technique, the Heavenly Hong Saint gritted his teeth. He was both shocked and jealous. How long had it been? Lu Ming had mastered the Divine Dragon Aspect Art and even cultivated an 8-clawed divine dragon. He had been cultivating the Divine Dragon Aspect Art for tens of thousands of years, but he had only cultivated a 6-clawed Divine Dragon Aspect Art. This made him even more greedy for Lu Ming's 9 dragons bloodline. Bam! Bam! The rumbling of the stairs continued. Lu Ming was getting closer and closer to the top of the stairs. As for the Tianhong Saint, his face darkened. With the last rumbling sound, Lu Ming successfully stepped onto the platform above the stairs. At the top of the stairs was a majestic palace. The doors of the palace were open and he could not see what was inside. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Without hesitation, he strode forward and walked through the doors. After stepping through the doors, the light suddenly brightened. Lu Ming could clearly see the situation behind the doors. Behind the doors was a spacious hall. There was nothing else in the hall. It was empty. Lu Ming looked around but did not discover anything. However, the center of the hall attracted Lu Ming's attention. In the middle of the hall, there was a 1-meter-tall stone pillar. Above the stone pillar, a scroll was suspended, emitting a gentle light. Strangely, there was a small divine dragon outside the scroll. It was formed by energy and flew around the scroll. Could it be the complete Divine Dragon Aspect Art? Lu Ming's eyes lit up as he stepped forward. Lad, there is a defensive array on the scroll. Guillemot reminded him. There is a defensive array? How do I break it? Lu Ming asked. It's very simple. You have the blood essence of the 9-clawed dragon in your body. You just need to drip a drop of blood on the scroll and you will be able to break the array on it. Guillemot said. That's easy. Lu Ming immediately forced out a drop of blood and dripped it onto the scroll. Chapter 28:11. When Lu Ming's blood dripped onto the scroll, a dragon's roar came from the scroll. Then the scroll emitted a dazzling light. After a long while, the light disappeared. Below the stairs, the Tianhong Saint's son was extremely anxious. Suddenly, he heard the dragon's roar and the light emitted from the scroll. The Tianhong Saint's son became even more anxious. Damn it! Could that brat have already obtained the complete Divine Dragon Aspect Art? The Tianhong Saint's son thought anxiously. Then he moved and rushed up the stairs. However, the strong pressure on the stairs made him stop very quickly. He could only retreat unwillingly. I'll wait here. Lu Ming, Even if you have the complete divine dragon aspect art, you're just paving the way for me. Ah, that's good too. It saves me a lot of trouble. The Tianhong Saint's son sneered. Thinking of this, his mood became better. In the hall, when the light on the scroll disappeared, Lu Ming reached out and grabbed the scroll. There was nothing strange. Lu Ming opened the scroll expectantly. There were many small words on the scroll, densely packed. Lu Ming looked at it carefully. After a long while, Lu Ming put down the scroll. The complete divine dragon aspect art. It's really the complete divine dragon aspect art. Lu Ming's face was filled with ecstasy. This scroll indeed recorded the complete divine dragon transcendence art. It was incomparably mysterious, much more so than the incomplete divine dragon transcendence art. If he could cultivate it to greater mastery, its power would definitely be shocking. It could become Lu Ming's trump card, even surpassing the ice shackles. How should I go down? After putting away the scroll, Lu Ming started thinking. The Tianhong Saint's son must be guarding below the stairs. If he went down the stairs, the Tianhong Saint's son would definitely not let him go. Forget it. I'll wait for a while. If there's really no other way, I'll just cultivate here for a while. I wonder how Holy Lady Qingxiang is doing? A thought flashed through Lu Ming's mind, and then he started to wander around the palace. There were other doors around the palace, and Lu Ming walked around but didn't find anything. Following this, Lu Ming walked towards the innermost door. Behind the innermost door was a long corridor. After passing through the corridor, a beam of light suddenly shot down from above. Lu Ming looked up and found that it was a door of light. The light came from the door of light. Could this be a teleportation gate? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. This is a teleportation gate. It should be a back path that leads to the outside world. Bone's voice rang out. Haha, the heavens are really helping me. Tianhong, just wait patiently. Lu Ming laughed and then soared into the sky, rushing towards the door of light. Lu Ming's figure disappeared into the light gate. In the next moment, Lu Ming appeared in a canyon. I'm out, I'm really out. I'll go find Holy Lady Qingxiang now. Lu Ming turned into a beam of light and left the place. This canyon wasn't far from the entrance. Soon, Lu Ming heard a violent explosion coming from the front. Ouyang Qingxiang was fighting fiercely with a group of experts. There were more than 10 old men, all of them in the heavenly god realm. Among them, there were even 1 or 2 in the heavenly god realm. There were also a few in the heavenly god realm. Facing so many experts, Ouyang Qingxiang mainly focused on defense. She wasn't at a disadvantage at all. Lu Ming flew over and shouted from a distance, Holy Lady Qingxiang, let's go. Seeing Lu Ming suddenly appear from behind, Ouyang Qingxiang was obviously stunned. She was very surprised. Lu Ming had clearly entered the cave from the entrance. Why did he suddenly run to the back? However, she didn't think too much about it and began to attack. Green Lotus Sword Song. Ouyang Qingxiang shouted and waved her long sword. Green lotuses appeared in the air, each of them bursting with terrifying sword chi, forcing the old men to retreat. Ouyang Qingxiang took the opportunity to break out of the encirclement and flew towards Lu Ming. Should we chase after them? An old man asked. Ouyang Qingxiang is too strong. Even if we catch up with them, we can't do anything to her. Our duty is to guard this place and report this situation to the saint. Another old man said. All right. The others nodded. They didn't know that Lu Ming had sneaked in and even obtained the complete divine dragon aspect art that the great Sky Hong Saint yearned for. If they knew, they wouldn't have let Lu Ming and Ouyang Qingxiang leave so easily. An old man rushed into the cave to report to the great Sky Hong Saint. Ouyang Qingxiang had already come to Lu Ming's side. Let's go back to the Kongshan school, Lu Ming said. Ouyang Qingxiang didn't ask any more questions. She soared into the sky with Lu Ming, took out the space battleship and left the Dragon Head Star. The great Sky Hong Saint was still guarding at the bottom of the stairs. Kit, let's see how long you can stay here. The great Sky Hong Saint snorted. His eyes were filled with killing intent and fire. After a while, an old man rushed in hurriedly. How is it? How's that bitch Ouyang Qingxiang? The great Sky Hong Saint asked. She's gone. She left. The old man replied. She left? You guys are really useless. If I wasn't here, I would have suppressed her personally. The great Sky Hong Saint snorted. The old man's face turned ugly. Is it just Ouyang Qingxiang alone? Is there anyone else? The great Sky Hong Saint asked. Yes, there's someone else. It's Lu Ming. He left with Saint Qingxiang, the old man said. However, before the old man could finish, the great Sky Hong Saint shouted in disbelief. What? What did you say? You said it's Lu Ming? The great Sky Hong Saint jumped up and stared at the old man as though he was going to eat him alive. The old man was shocked. He didn't understand why the great Sky Hong Saint had such a huge reaction when he heard Lu Ming's name. He was confused. Did you see clearly? Is that really Lu Ming and not someone else? The great Sky Hong Saint asked with his eyes wide open. There's no mistake. It's definitely Lu Ming. The old man said firmly. Damn it, damn it. There's still a path up there. Damn it. Chase, chase. The great Sky Hong Saint roared. He turned into a beam of light and chased after them. After reaching the outside of the cave, the great Sky Hong Saint led his subordinates and chased in the direction of the Kongshan school. However, it was too late. Lu Ming and the rest were already far away. In the space battleship. Lu Ming, have you obtained the complete divine dragon aspect technique? Ouyang Qingxiang asked curiously. That's right. Lu Ming nodded. He didn't hide anything and told Ouyang Qingxiang what happened in the cave. This time I have to thank Saint Qingxiang for her help. Otherwise it would have been difficult for me to get it. If Saint Qingxiang needs help in the future, feel free to ask. Lu Ming won't refuse. Lu Ming said. You're welcome. However, I'm afraid the great Sky Hong Saint will know about it soon and will come after us. He's bent on getting the complete version of the divine dragon aspect technique. Now that you have it, I'm afraid he'll go crazy. We have to hurry back to the Kongshan school and make preparations. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Lu Ming nodded. Chapter 28:12. After more than a month of traveling, Lu Ming and Ouyang Qingxiang finally returned to the Kongshan school. After returning to the Kongshan school, Lu Ming immediately brought in Hai Lu Chang and Zhao Feng to Ouyang Qingxiang's residence. Autumn Moon is still in the Divine Vein Tower. I hope she won't come out during this time. Lu Ming pondered. However, Lu Ming was very low-key when he brought Autumn Moon to the Kongshan school. Not many people knew that Autumn Moon was related to him, so she should be fine. After Ouyang Qingxiang returned to her residence, she gathered many experts belonging to her faction and stationed them at her mountain. Not long after Lu Ming's group returned, the Skybright Saint Sun also returned. The moment he returned, he rushed to Lu Ming's residence. When he didn't find Lu Ming, he went to Hai's residence. The residence of Lu Chang and the others was also empty. You must be hiding at that bitch Ouyang Qingxiang's place. Don't think you'll be fine hiding there. If you don't hand over the divine dragon aspect technique, I'll kill you even if you hide to the ends of the earth. The Skybright Saint Sun roared in anger. Then he gathered a large number of experts and charged toward Ouyang Qingxiang's residence. What is the Skybright Saint Sun planning to do by gathering so many experts? Something big must have happened. He's heading toward Saint Qingxiang's residence. Does he want to start a war with her? Quick, informed the Saint Sun. The Skybright Saint Sun gathered so many experts and charged toward Ouyang Qingxiang's residence. Naturally, he couldn't hide it from others. The other Saint Sun factions quickly found out, and many people rushed toward Ouyang Qingxiang's residence. At Ouyang Qingxiang's residence, Lu Ming and Ouyang Qingxiang were discussing something. They're here. An old woman suddenly spoke and looked outside. This old woman was an inner elder belonging to Ouyang Qingxiang's faction. Her strength was extremely shocking. They're really fast. Let's go out and welcome them. Ouyang Qingxiang sneered. They walked out of the courtyard and stood in the air. Rumble. In the distance there was a rumbling explosion. Then a terrifying wave of divine power surged toward them like a powerful army. However, there were many experts gathered at Ouyang Qingxiang's residence. Their auras surged into the sky like smoke, defeating the surging waves of divine power. A black mass of people appeared on the horizon. There were at least 1,000 of them. The person in the lead was the Tianhong Saint. The Tianhong Saint brought his people and stopped 1,000 miles away. The Tianhong Saint Sun's gaze landed on Lu Ming. It was filled with murderous intent and greed. Tianhong, what are you trying to do by bringing so many people here in such an aggressive manner? Ouyang Qingxiang knew the answer. What? It's very simple. Hand Lu Ming over to me. I'll leave with him immediately. The Tianhong Saint said. Saint Sun. It's ridiculous. Lu Ming is also a saint. Not everyone can take him away as they wish. Ouyang Qingxiang sneered. Today I must take Lu Ming away. Whoever stops me will be my enemy. I will not hesitate to fight. The Saint Sun said coldly. Lu Ming had not only taken away the complete divine dragon aspect art, but he also had the 9-clawed dragon bloodline. To the Saint Sun, Lu Ming was a huge treasure trove. As long as he could obtain Lu Ming's 9-clawed dragon bloodline and the complete divine dragon aspect art, his combat strength would definitely rise to an astonishing level. He could even surpass the Paragon Saint and become the first saint of the Kongshen school. In that case, the position of the future sect master of the Kongshen school would be in his bag. At the thought of this, his heart was burning with passion. He must get Lu Ming. If you want to fight, then let's fight. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Ouyang Qingxiang was extremely domineering. Good, very good. In that case, I'll break into your sect today. Attack and take down Lu Ming. The Saint's son roared. Boom, 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 boom. The experts of the Tenho Seiko faction and Ouyang Qingxiang's factions erupted with terrifying auras. They clashed in the void, causing shockwaves to fill the sky. There were many inner elders among them, and they were all peak heavenly gods. At this moment, their auras clashed and shook the heavens and earth. Then a few figures soared into the sky. In an instant, they had rushed out of the atmosphere and started fighting in the starry sky. Peak heavenly gods were too terrifying. If they were to fight in the atmosphere, the destruction to the earth would be unimaginable. Kill? The strongest people fought outside the starry sky. The Saint's son and the others charged toward Ouyang Qingxiang and Lu Ming. Attack. Ouyang Qingxiang and the others did not retreat and charged forward. Ouyang Qingxiang once again clashed with the great Sky Hong Saint. Take down Lu Ming. Take him down. Several heavenly gods rushed toward Lu Ming. Fortunately, there were experts on Ouyang Qingxiang's side who stayed by Lu Ming's side and blocked the other party's attack. Thousands of experts from both sides fought fiercely. This area was already surrounded by people. Even the Saint's son Ji Xia and Saintess Shuatan came personally. What happened? Why did the Saint's son bring people to fight with Ouyang Qingxiang? Saint's son Ji Xia asked, full of doubts. I don't know, but it must be something big. Otherwise the Saint's son wouldn't be so crazy. He wants to take down Lu Ming. I guess Lu Ming has offended him again. Saintess Shuatan said. However, they would not go out to stop it. They could not wait for the Saint's son and Ouyang Qingxiang to fight. It would be best if both sides were injured. Then their competition would be smaller. The battle was getting more and more intense. Some people even died. Boom. At this moment, a huge hand suddenly appeared in the starry sky. This gigantic hand was boundlessly huge, and it pressed down on the inner court elders who were in the midst of a fierce battle. Deity King, the inner elders screamed in horror. Then they were pressed down by the huge hand. They were blasted into the atmosphere like meteorites and fell to the ground. Then a figure suddenly appeared in the sky, exuding a terrifying and boundless pressure. It pressed down on the Saint's son and Ouyang Qingxiang's factions. The people of the two factions were directly imprisoned in the air by this force, unable to move. Kid, the Deity King has appeared. I have to hide. Gu Mo's voice sounded, then entered Jingyu's portrait and disappeared. The Deity King, what a terrifying pressure. Lu Ming looked at the figure in the sky, full of shock. At this moment, his body could not move at all under the pressure of that pressure. Not to mention him, even the high-level heavenly gods could not move at all. It's the Deputy Hall Master of the Tribunal Council. Someone exclaimed. The Saint's son, Ouyang Qingxiang, and the others' eyes turned serious. Obviously, their battle had alarmed the Tribunal Council. Even the Deputy Hall Master of the Tribunal Council, who was a deity king, had personally come. As saints and saintesses, you actually led your fellow disciples to kill each other. What a scandal. The Deputy Hall Master of the Tribunal Council said sternly. Chapter 28:13. Deputy Hall Master, it's Tianhong. He suddenly sent people to attack me, so I could only retaliate with my men. Ouyang Qingxiang was the first to speak. Bullshit. You teamed up with Lu Ming and snatched my treasure. It's only right that I take Lu Ming away and take back my treasure. The Tianhong Saint roared. What a joke. What treasure? You're really shameless. That's a secret art in a relic. As long as you haven't obtained the item in the relic, everyone who saw it has a share. You can't get it because you're trash. Now that I have it, I have to give it to you? Lu Ming's voice was filled with mockery. I've discovered that relic long ago. The Tianhong Saint roared, releasing an extremely cold, murderous intent. He looked at Lu Ming ferociously, wishing he could cut Lu Ming into pieces. Ah, what a joke. What's even more ridiculous is that you're a saint. How could you say such ridiculous things? According to your logic, as long as I explore all the relic and discover it, it's mine and no one else is allowed to enter? Is that possible? I'm really doubtful. How did you become a saint with such a brain? How could so many people submit to you? Hey, those of you who have submitted to the Tianhong saint, think carefully. What's the point of following such a person? Why don't you all submit to me? Lu Ming laughed. What did you say? Piece of shit, I'm going to kill you? The Tianhong saint was furious. His eyes were burning with rage. He wished he could rush up and kill Lu Ming. Unfortunately, he couldn't move under the pressure of the deputy hall master of the law enforcement hall. Alright, no matter what grudges you have, you'll be severely punished for killing your fellow disciples in the sect. The deputy hall master of the law enforcement hall's voice was filled with majesty and sternness. Many people shuddered in fear. The deputy hall master of the law enforcement hall was famous for his strictness. Even the Tianhong saint felt a chill in his heart and suppressed his anger. Tianhong, you started the fight. You are in the wrong. I will give you 3 days to hand over 200,000 points. Then you will face the wall for 20 years. Do you accept that? After the deputy hall master of the law enforcement hall said this, he looked at the great Sky Hong sage coldly. The great Sky sage was unconvinced. However, how could he dare say no now? Yes. The Tianhong saint lowered his head. The murderous intent in his heart had already reached its peak. Lu Ming, if I don't kill you, I swear I'm not human. The 9-clawed dragon bloodline and the mystical dragon aspect art are all mine. The Tianhong saint roared in his heart. Qingxiang, since you're only defending passively and it's not your fault, I'll punish you to face the wall for 10 years. Do you accept? The vice hall master of the law enforcement hall looked at Ouyang Qingxiang. This disciple is sincerely convinced. Ouyang Qingxiang nodded. Alright, now let's disperse. The vice hall master of the law enforcement hall waved his hand and the pressure disappeared without a trace. Go. The Tianhong saint bellowed and left dejectedly with his men. It's over just like that. Saint Jixia and Saint Shuatan were slightly disappointed and left as well. Saint Qingxiang, it's Lu Ming who has implicated you. Lu Ming looked at Ouyang Qingxiang apologetically. It was all because of Lu Ming that Ouyang Qingxiang was punished. Moreover, people from her faction had died and many were injured. Lu Ming felt a little apologetic. It's alright. It's just 10 years of facing the wall. It'll pass in the blink of an eye. I can use this time to hone my mental state. However, the Tianhong saint has also been punished. He won't dare to do anything in the sect for the time being. However, once you're out of the sect, you still have to be careful. Tianhong won't let this go, Ouyang Qingxiang said. Lu Ming nodded. Not long after, Lu Ming bade farewell to Ouyang Qingxiang and returned to his residence. The following days were indeed peaceful. The Tianhong saint did not send anyone to deal with Lu Ming. I still have to raise my strength as soon as possible. Now that little ball has broken through to the 8th level of the True God realm, it'll be a great help to me. It'll be great if little ball can break through to the Heavenly God realm. I'll go exchange for more fragments of divine artifacts for little ball to eat. Lu Ming pondered and then sorted out all the storage rings on his body. During this time he had killed many strong enemies and obtained many storage rings. The number of treasures and divine crystals he had sorted out was astonishing. Lu Ming exchanged most of these treasures and divine crystals for points. He then used his points to exchange for a large number of fragments of divine artifacts. The lowest grade was a fragment of a medial level 9 divine artifact. There were even some fragments of superior divine artifacts. Even though it was a fragment of a superior grade divine weapon, the price was astonishingly high. In that case, Lu Ming did not have many points left. After returning to his residence, Lu Ming gave all the fragments of divine artifacts to Little Ball for him to eat slowly. As for himself, he began to comprehend the complete divine dragon aspect art. The complete divine dragon aspect art was much more difficult to cultivate. The time required was also much longer. However, Lu Ming only used half a year to successfully cultivate the complete divine dragon aspect art. Brr! A dragon's roar rang out. A divine dragon condensed above his head. This divine dragon had 9 claws and was very similar to the 9 dragons. 9-clawed dragon. Lu Ming had finally cultivated the 9-clawed dragon aspect. As long as Lu Ming willed it, the 9-clawed dragon aspect would pounce out to attack the enemy. Its power was astonishing. Of course, the divine dragon aspect art was far from complete. As Lu Ming's comprehension deepened, he could cultivate a second, third, and even more divine dragon aspects in the future. In the following days, Lu Ming cultivated in peace. He took turns to cultivate various divine skills and secret techniques. A few decades was too short for an immortal. It passed in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 years had passed. In these 20 years, Lu Ming entered a period of stability. He didn't improve much in all aspects. He mainly focused on stabilizing his foundation. On the other hand, Little Ball had swallowed a large number of fragments of divine artifacts. His cultivation had improved further, reaching the 9th stage True God realm. As for Autumn Moon, she had been cultivating in a secret room in the Divine Vein Pagoda for more than 20 years. Lu Ming had also gone to take a look. The secret room was emitting the aura of Autumn Moon. Everything was normal. Lu Ming had nothing to worry about. At this time, a piece of news spread like a hurricane to the Qintian 13 sects and some other powerful forces. On the ancient god planet, the array on the bronze door was finally broken. Some of the strongest array masters in the Qintian star field had finally broken the array and opened the bronze door after decades of hard work. Many people had already gone in to explore, but the results were shocking. Behind the bronze door was a world, an ancient and desolate world. Inside there were many treasures of heaven and earth. Many of them were extinct in the outside world. Chapter 28:14. The moment this news came out, the various factions of the Qintian star field and countless experts began to gather on the ancient god planet. Lu Ming was focused on his seclusion, so he was unaware of this news. By the time he found out, 1 month had passed, and it was Ouyang Qingxiang who told him. On this day, Ouyang Qingxiang found Lu Ming and told Lu Ming the news. The ancient god planet's bronze gate was actually opened? Lu Ming's interest was piqued. The bronze gate had appeared in the sacred land of the ancient god descendants, so it definitely had something to do with them. Lu Ming had condensed the ancient god heart, so he was very interested in this matter. Correct. It opened a month ago. I was also in seclusion, so I only just received the news. It said that there's an ancient and desolate world inside, filled with countless natural treasures. Many experts from various factions have gone in. I came to find you because I wanted to work with you and go in together. How about it? Ouyang Qingxiang said. Okay. Lu Ming nodded without hesitation. Lu Ming led in Hai, Lu Chang and Zhao Feng, while Ouyang Qingxiang led a group of experts from her faction. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were also part of this group, and they set off for the ancient god planet. After a long journey, they came to a place not far from the bronze gate on the ancient god planet. Lu Ming was rather emotional at this second visit. So many experts. Lu Ming sensed that terrifying energies were faintly discernible around the bronze gate. Every single one of these auras was extremely powerful, giving off a pressure that was as deep as the ocean. God Kings. These energies were all at the God King realm, no less than several dozen. There were dozens of Divine King realm experts gathered near the bronze gate. Didn't they say that the majority of the experts had already entered the world behind the bronze gate? Why are there so many God King experts here? Lu Ming asked. I heard that God King experts find it very difficult to enter the bronze gate, Ouyang Qingxiang said. Yes. God Kings can't enter? Lu Ming said. It's not that we can't enter at all. It said that there's a force on the bronze door that can stop Divine Kings from entering. This energy is profound and unfathomable. Even the strongest formation grandmasters of the Qin heavenly star field can't break through it. However, they managed to create a formation that can only send a dozen God Kings through the bronze gate. After some discussion, we decided that the Qin heavenly 13 sects, the Ice Soul race and the Scarlet Flame race, a total of 15 major powers, would each send a godly king. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Lu Ming finally understood. As it turned out, God Kings couldn't enter in large numbers. Each of the 15 strongest powers in the Qin heavenly star field sent a God King in. As for those below the godly king realm, they could enter and leave as they pleased. Lu Ming felt a little helpless. He had originally thought that after most people entered the bronze door, he could take the opportunity to get Qiuqiu to bite the bronze door. Now it looked like this idea wouldn't work. With so many godly king experts guarding the door, how could he get Qiuqiu to bite the bronze door? If he really did that, Qiuqiu would immediately be taken away by those experts to be studied. It said that the world behind the bronze door is vast and boundless. However, there's also a terrifying danger inside. There's a kind of evil creature that looks like both demons and demons. They're known as demons. Now, every power has built a city inside as their base. God Kings are guarding the city to guard against the demons. Ouyang Qingxiang explained. They flew towards the bronze door as they flew. No one stopped them. In fact, anyone below the godly king realm wouldn't be stopped if they wanted to enter. Even those from smaller powers wouldn't be stopped if they wanted to. However, without a godly king, it was extremely dangerous for a power that had built a city as their base to enter. There was a high chance that they would die in the hands of the demons. The giant bronze door was open and it was pitch black inside. "Let's go," Ouyang Qingxiang said. Everyone flew towards the bronze door. Apart from them, there were many other people from other powers who flew into the door with them. After a moment of dizziness, Lu Ming realized that they had appeared on a huge platform. Lu Ming raised his head and saw a huge whirlpool in the sky above his head. This whirlpool was the entrance and exit. Lu Ming saw many people who were covered in blood flying into the sky and disappearing into the whirlpool. They should have left this place. These people should be from smaller powers. They didn't build a base here and didn't have a godly king to guard them. They didn't have a place to recuperate after fighting with the demons, so they could only leave this place. Ouyang Qingxiang explained. Lu Ming nodded. Those who went out should be from smaller powers. For example, the Qintian 13 sects, the Ice Soul race and the Scarlet Flame race all had their own bases. If they were injured, they could recuperate in their bases. There was no need for them to go out. People from the immeasurable sacred ground, come to me. I'll bring you to the base. People from the Winged Devil Academy, come to me. I'll bring you to the base. People from the Kongshan School, come to me. I'll bring you to the base. Voices sounded around the platform. It turned out that there were people from various major powers around the platform. Those from smaller powers could only look on enviously. Those are the people from the Kongshan School. Let's go over. Ouyang Qingxiang and the others walked in a certain direction. There were many experts from the Kongshan School there. So it's Saintess Qingxiang, Saintess Lu Ming. Follow me. An old man, an inner elder of the Kongshan School, recognized Lu Ming and Ouyang Qingxiang at a glance. The crowd followed the inner sect elder and flew away. But at this moment something strange happened. Rumble. The whirlpool in the sky shook violently and let out a deafening roar. What's going on? Why is the spatial gate shaking all of a sudden? Many people's faces changed drastically. But then the whirlpool shook even more violently. Boom. Boom. Then a terrifying explosion occurred. The whirlpool began to collapse. Yes, it began to collapse. A terrifying force spread out and wreaked havoc in all directions. Not good. Leave quickly. Retreat quickly. Many people shouted and flew away from the platform. Lu Ming and the others also flew far away. When they were far enough away, they looked back and were completely dumbfounded. The whirlpool was gone. Yes, that whirlpool had already disappeared without a trace. The spatial path is gone. It's over. Are we going to be trapped here forever? What's going on? Does anyone know what's going on? The scene was in an uproar. Many people shouted in horror. Without the spatial path, they would be trapped here forever. Chapter 28:15. The faces of Lu Ming, Ouyang Qingxiang and the rest darkened. Waran? One? Alright? Come. They were too unlucky. They had just entered and the space passage had already collapsed. If it had collapsed earlier, they wouldn't have been able to enter. Everyone, don't panic. There are many godly kings and array masters guarding outside. They will definitely find a way to reopen the space passage. Someone, an old man, shouted. Some of the old men who had lived for countless years and experienced great storms quickly calmed down. Many people calmed down after hearing that. Indeed, there were many godly kings and array masters outside. They would definitely not let so many people be trapped here. They would definitely find a way to reopen the space passage. Saintess Qingxiang, chosen one Lu Ming, now that the space passage has collapsed, it's useless to stay here. Why don't we go to the base first? I have to report the situation here to the godly kings in the base. The inner sect elder said. All right. Lu Ming and Ouyang Qingxiang nodded. Since they were already here, they might as well take things as they came. Since the spatial gate had temporarily collapsed, they could only cultivate in this world for a period of time. The people from the other sects and forces had similar thoughts. They left some people to guard the place while the others flew to their bases. When the space passage collapsed, the ancient god planet's bronze gate underwent a major change. The originally open bronze door suddenly emitted a resplendent radiance and slowly closed on its own. Not good. What's going on? Stop it. There were at least several dozen god kings in the surroundings of the bronze gate. They were all shocked at this moment, and they all struck out with terrifying energy at the bronze gate in an attempt to stop it from closing. However, it was useless. The bronze gate continued to close at a constant speed. Clang. In the end, the bronze gate closed completely. Master, what's going on? A godly king from the Mystic Academy looked at an array master with a gloomy face. The array master frowned and thought carefully. After a while, he shook his head and said, Strange, strange. I don't know what's going on either. You don't know what's going on? The expressions of the other god kings changed. There were many people from the major forces who had entered the Bronze Gate, including some of the top geniuses. If these people couldn't come out, it would be a fatal loss for the major forces. The only thing we can do now is to continue our research and find a way to open the door again. Another array master said helplessly. Then I'll have to trouble you. A god king expert said. After a while, one of the formation grandmasters said with a serious expression. This formation has become even stronger after it was closed. I'm afraid it will take a long time to open it. How much time do you need? Someone asked. It could be as short as a few decades or as long as a few centuries. A formation master said. A few hundred years? That's good. Then I'll have to trouble the masters to crack it. The various deity kings nodded. Indeed, it would take a few hundred years to open. The situation was not that bad. At that moment, Lu Ming, Ouyang Qingxiang, and the others followed the inner sect elder of the Kongshan school and flew for a while before a huge city appeared in front of them. The city was built between two large canyons. It was a natural stronghold and was incomparably majestic. This was the new base that the Kongshan school had built recently. The people of the Kongshan school who had entered this world were all gathered in this base. The crowd flew in and saw that there were many stone houses in the city. Find an empty space and build your own stone houses. Also, you're free to enter and leave the city. No one restricts you. However, the demons outside are very strange and powerful. You have to be careful when you go out on an adventure. The inner sect elder reminded them. After that, the inner sect elder flew away. Lu Ming, Ouyang Qingxiang, and the others looked around and then flew toward an empty space. The city was very large and there were also large expanses of empty land. Lu Ming. Suddenly, a roar filled with cold murderous intent was heard. At the side, a group of figures flew out from a stone house and blocked Lu Ming's path. Tianhong. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes. The leader was the Tianhong saint. The Tianhong saint looked at Lu Ming with a ferocious gaze and sneered. You're also in the ancient god world. Good, very good. Let's see who can protect you here. Tianhong, don't flatter yourself. If you want to fight, we're not afraid of you. Ouyang Qingxiang sneered. Oh, what if you include me? A cold voice came from behind. Then, another group of figures flew over. Floating light. Ouyang Qingxiang's expression changed. The group that came behind was Fuko Seiko and his subordinates. They surrounded the back of Lu Ming and the rest. Floating light, when did you team up with Tianhong? Ouyang Qingxiang asked coldly. It's not really a team-up, but Lu Ming has killed many of my men. I just happen to want to settle this score with him. Fuko Seiko sneered and emitted a cold murderous intent. The Tianhong saint and Fuko Seiko's factions surrounded Lu Ming's group. The cold murderous intent made many people's expressions change. However, Ouyang Qingxiang remained calm because she knew the rules. Do you dare to fight here? From what I know, the deity king has ordered that fighting is prohibited in this city to prevent the demons from taking advantage of the situation. Do you dare to go against the deity king's order? Ouyang Qingxiang sneered. The Tianhong saint and Fuko Seiko's faces darkened. The deity king guarding this city had indeed given this order. And they did not dare to go against it. So what? Once you leave this city, no one will care about you. Unless you stay in this city forever and don't go out. The Tianhong saint sneered. That's right. I will send people to keep an eye on you. Since you came here, you can hide in this city forever. The lonely light saint also sneered. Ouyang Qingxiang's face darkened. Since they came to this world, they had to go out and take risks to obtain treasures. Otherwise, why would they come here? Instead of hiding in this city, they might as well stay in the Kongshan school and cultivate. Seeing Ouyang Qingxiang's ugly expression, the Tianhong saint and Fuko Seiko smiled happily. Saint Qingxiang, let's go. We can't be bothered with a few mad dogs. At this moment, Lu Ming spoke calmly and stepped forward. What did you say? The Tianhong saint and Fuko Seiko's faces turned red. Good dogs don't block the way. Lu Ming looked at the Tianhong saint with disdain. You, the Tianhong saint was furious and almost vomited blood. He wanted to slap Lu Ming to death. Chapter 28:16. But in the end, the Tianhong saint held himself back and did not dare to make a move. Renina calm, the divine king's orders could not be disobeyed, even if he was the saint. Lu Ming, you'd better not leave this city. Otherwise I'll let you die a horrible death. The Tianhong saint left these words with a ferocious expression. Then he turned and left with his men. Fuko Seiko snorted and left with her men. Of course, they had left people behind to monitor Lu Ming and the others from afar. If Lu Ming and the others left the city, they would launch a thunderous attack. As for Lu Ming and the others, they came to the open space and started building stone houses. With their cultivation, it was too easy for them to build stone houses. In just a few minutes, huge stone houses rose from the ground. For the next few days they stayed here and did not leave the city. This was because Fuko Seiko had sent people to keep an eye on the Tianhong saint. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed and the situation was still the same. Fragrant saintess, you all can leave the city first. I will stay here alone. Lu Ming said. Shall we leave the city first? Ouyang Qingxiang's expression changed. That's right. Tianhong, the person floating light, wants as me. If I'm not around, they won't do anything to you guys. You guys leave the city first. It'll be easier for me to act alone. I'll also think of a way to leave the city. Lu Ming said. During this period of time, they discovered that many people who had left the city and returned had made great gains. The number of natural treasures here was truly astonishing. This world was like the ancient world when the universe first opened. There were all kinds of natural treasures that no one could exploit. It was extremely rich. Staying in the city and not going out was really not worth it. Then you have to be careful. Ouyang Qingxiang pondered for a moment and nodded. That was the only thing they could do now. Afterward, Ouyang Qingxiang led the people from her faction, Anhai, Lu Chang and Zhao Feng, and left the city, disappearing into the vast earth. Saint Child, Ouyang Qingxiang's group has left the city, but Lu Ming hasn't. He is still in the city. Once Ouyang Qingxiang left, someone reported to the Great Hong Saint. During this time, the Tianhong Saint had not left the city and had been guarding it. Lu Ming didn't leave? The Heavenly Hong Saint's eyes flashed coldly. Saint, what should we do now? Someone asked. Dealing with Lu Ming alone is simple. Leave a few experts behind to keep an eye on Lu Ming. As soon as he leaves the city, kill him without mercy. The Tianhong Saint said coldly. After that, he left behind a few experts to keep an eye on Lu Ming while he led his men out of the city. If he stayed in the city every day, he wouldn't be able to obtain anything. He couldn't afford to waste time. Therefore, since there was only Lu Ming, there was no need for him to personally guard this place. If Lu Ming continued to stay in the city without moving, he could not afford to waste time. On the other hand, after Fuko Seiko received the news, he had the same plan as the Tianhong Saint. He left behind a few experts to keep an eye on Lu Ming while he led his men out of the city. After Ouyang Qingxiang and the rest left, Lu Ming leisurely cultivated in the city. Just a little more. Lu Ming muttered. His Nine Heavens Kunping technique was about to break through to the 5th level. As long as he broke through to the 5th level, he would be able to shake off those who were watching him and leave the city. Tianhong, floating light, Lu Ming, will make you regret this sooner or later. A cold light flashed across Lu Ming's eyes. He then returned to the stone house to continue cultivating. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. Success. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. After a few months of cultivation, Lu Ming's Nine Heavens Kunping technique had finally reached the 5th level. His speed had increased greatly. It's time to leave. Lu Ming moved and left the stone house, flying towards the city gate. Lu Ming is leaving. Follow him. When he leaves the city, we'll kill him. When Lu Ming moved, the Tianhong Saint and Fuko Seiko's men immediately received the news. Cold murderous intent flashed in their eyes as they followed Lu Ming from afar. When he arrived at the city gate, Lu Ming did not hesitate and rushed out of the gate. He then executed the Nine Heavens Kunping technique and rushed towards the vast forest ahead. What a dense divine aura. What an ancient aura. As soon as he rushed into the forest, an ancient aura rushed towards him. Moreover, the trees in the forest were exceptionally tall. Giant trees with diameters of tens of meters, a few hundred meters, and a few thousand meters tall could be seen everywhere. It gave one a feeling that they had returned to the ancient times. Chase. The experts left behind by the Tianhong Saint and Fuko Seiko were all middle-aged burly men or white-haired old men. All of them were heavenly god realm experts with great strength. As soon as they rushed out of the city gate, they quickly chased after Lu Ming. A few old fellows. A ray of cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes as he increased his speed. He was like a Kunpeng flying across the sky at an astonishing speed. However, those who chased after him were all heavenly god realm experts. There were even second-level heavenly gods whose cultivation was much higher than Lu Ming's. Their speed was too fast and the distance between them and Lu Ming was constantly shrinking. "Lu Ming, you can't escape. Prepare to die," an old man shouted coldly. "Is that so?" Lu Ming sneered. However, he had no intention of stopping to fight with the other party. The experts left behind by the Tianhong Saint and Fuko Seiko were all astonishingly strong. None of them were weaker than Lu Feiyun. Some of them were even stronger than Lu Feiyun. Even if Qiuqiu had broken through to the 9th level of True God Realm, they would still die if they stopped to fight. Lu Ming's palm glowed and a black jade talisman appeared in his hand. He squeezed it hard and the jade talisman exploded. A wave of energy wrapped around Lu Ming. A strange scene appeared. Lu Ming's body actually split into 2 into 4 into 8. In the end, there were a total of 32 figures. The 32 figures of Lu Ming had the exact same aura. They flew in different directions rapidly. This was Lu Ming's trump card. That jade talisman was a type of jade talisman that Lu Ming had refined after consulting Guo. It was very effective in escaping at critical moments. However, the materials to refine this kind of jade talisman were too difficult to find. Lu Ming had searched the Kongshan school and only found the materials to refine one piece. The 32 figures appeared all of a sudden. Moreover, their aura was exactly the same. Those who were chasing after Lu Ming were instantly dumbfounded. What's going on? Damn it. Split up and chase. Someone roared. They had no choice but to split up and chase. However, in the end they realized that what they were chasing was fake. After some time they turned into energy and dissipated. As for Lu Ming's real body, it was unknown where it had gone. Damn it. The Tianhong Saint, Fuko Seiko, and the people left behind gathered together again. Their expressions were extremely ugly. Continue searching. I don't believe that he can escape to the sky. An old man roared and planned to continue searching. They had so many experts, but they had let Lu Ming escape under their noses. If the two saints asked about it, it would be difficult to explain. Chapter 28:17. Lu Ming shook off his pursuers and went deep into the forest. Now, go. This world is really strange. After shaking off those pursuers, Lu Ming slowed down and looked around. This world was full of vitality. Ancient trees towered into the sky, and all kinds of plants were lush and full of powerful spirituality. Any one of these plants would be an emperor medicine in the primordial realm of the heaven realm, but they were not useful to Lu Ming. Lu Ming spread out his spirit sense. He was looking for those precious treasures. Dragon ginseng. After walking for a while, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He saw a dragon beard ginseng, but this pillar dragon beard ginseng was too big, which shocked him. As the name suggested, the ordinary dragon ginseng was as thin as a dragon's beard. It was a rare divine medicine that could be refined into a divine pill that could increase the cultivation of a heavenly god. It was very precious. However, the dragon ginseng in front of him was as thick as Lu Ming's arm, which was dozens of times thicker than the ordinary dragon ginseng. Such a big dragon ginseng, ha! Lu Ming was overjoyed. Kid, this divine medicine contains rich chaos chi. It's not easy to refine it. In his sea of consciousness, the voice of the quantifying formula sounded. Chaos chi? Lu Ming was puzzled. That's right. This world is extremely ancient and has yet to be developed. That's why there's desolation chi. These divine herbs all contain desolation chi. It's difficult for ordinary people to refine them. Only by refining the desolation chi can one absorb the energy within the divine herbs. The quantifying formula explained. Lu Ming nodded. It seemed that although the divine medicine here was very strong, it was still difficult to refine it directly. The best choice was to take it out and refine it into a divine pill for an alchemist. But you have me, so you don't have to worry about that. Give me the dragon ginseng and I can help you refine it into pure energy for you to absorb. The quantifying formula said proudly. Hey, you absorbed so much energy from the ancient god flower last time. You said that you would refine it and pass it to me. It's been dozens of years and you still haven't refined it? Lu Ming asked. What do you know? How could it be easy to refine the energy of so many ancient god flowers? But don't worry, it won't take long. In a few months at most, I'll be able to completely refine it. At that time, your cultivation will be able to take another step forward. The quantifying formula began to shout. Really? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Nonsense, of course it's true. Why would I lie? The quantifying character formula shouted. "Aha, good, good, this dragon ginseng is yours." Lu Ming smiled. After that, a quantity character emerged from between Lu Ming's eyebrows. A devouring force appeared and enveloped the dragon ginseng. The dragon ginseng transformed into a beam of light and flew into the quantity character. After that, the quantity character returned to hiding in Lu Ming's sea of consciousness. Lu Ming continued to move forward. Next, Lu Ming encountered a few more heavenly treasures. They were all rare divine herbs with amazing medicinal efficacy. If he took them out, he would definitely be able to sell them at a good price. No wonder so many people poured into this world. Lu Ming, who was moving forward, suddenly stopped and frowned. A long spear appeared in his hand, because at this moment he suddenly felt a sense of crisis. Swoosh! All of a sudden, a terrifying whistling sound could be heard from the right side. An extremely sharp force tore toward Lu Ming. Buzz! Without thinking, Lu Ming swept his spear to the right. Clang! Lu Ming's long spear seemed to have swept against a metal. Then Lu Ming saw a black shadow being sent flying. Bang! The black shadow slammed heavily into an ancient tree with a diameter of several tens of meters, causing the ancient tree to explode. Demon! After seeing the appearance of the black shadow, Lu Ming's eyes flickered slightly. The one that attacked him was a wolf. This wolf was more than 3 meters tall and was completely black. It was no different from a typical demonic beast or desolate beast. However, this wolf did not have any demonic aura. Instead, it emitted a strong demonic aura. Its eyes were blood red and filled with killing intent. A demonic wolf contains a strong demonic aura. No wonder it is called a demon. Lu Ming was amazed. It looked like a demon but not a demon. It looked like a demon but not a demon. Was a demon. The wolf-shaped demon roared and its killing intent became stronger. It stared at Lu Ming. Then the roars continued. In the forest, black shadows flashed. At least dozens of wolf-shaped demons appeared on the branches of the surrounding ancient trees. They stared at Lu Ming with killing intent. Why am I so unlucky? Lu Ming was speechless. It seemed like he had encountered a wolf's den. With a roar, dozens of wolf-shaped demons turned into rays of black light and rushed towards Lu Ming. Chi-chi! The wolf-shaped demons clawed out with their sharp claws and let out a terrifying howl. Their sharp claws were like knives as they clawed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's spear shook and rays of spear radiance burst out. Suddenly there was the sound of metal clashing. Dozens of wolf-shaped demons were sent flying by him. This demon has such a strong attack power. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Although he did not take the strength of these demons seriously, their attack power still surprised Lu Ming. The demonic aura of these demons had a strong destructive power. Between a demon of the same level and a martial artist of the outside world, the strength of these demons was definitely stronger. After the dozens of demons were sent flying, they did not retreat. Instead, they roared and rushed towards Lu Ming. "I'll send you all to hell." Lu Ming released his killing intent and increased his strength. Swoosh, swoosh. Instantly, dozens of even sharper spear auras burst forth, piercing through the necks of these demons, killing them instantly. After killing these fiendish demons, Lu Ming left the place immediately. A few days later, Lu Ming walked out of the forest and came to an even more vast mountain range. In this mountain range, he would encounter demons from time to time. These demons looked no different from the demonic beasts and desolate beasts he had encountered before. However, their bodies were filled with a terrifying demonic aura and each of them had a terrifying combat strength. However, correspondingly, there were more heaven and earth treasures in this mountain range. Other than divine herbs, there were also many refining materials and even some precious metals. Most of those precious metals had entered Qiuqiu's stomach and were eaten by Qiuqiu. As for the divine herbs, most of them had been swallowed by the quantifying character formula. Lu Ming was speechless. Most of the divine herbs and metals he obtained had entered the quantifying character formula and Qiuqiu's stomachs. Very little entered his pockets. Lu Ming only hoped that these two fellows could bring him a surprise. Just like that, Lu Ming trained and fought in this desolate mountain range for a few months. As he ventured deeper, the demons he encountered became stronger and stronger. He frequently encountered demons at the peak of the 8th and 9th level of the true God realm. He even occasionally encountered demons at the heavenly God realm. Once he encountered a heavenly God realm demon, Lu Ming would take a detour. Even with Qiuqiu's help, he did not have much confidence in dealing with heavenly God realm demons. Chapter 28:18. On this day Lu Ming came to the vicinity of a huge mountain. Qiuqiu was excited when he arrived, his big mouth opened and closed, his eyes glowing as he stared at a cave at the foot of the mountain. Come. Qiuqiu, is there a treasure in this cave? Lu Ming's heart stirred and he asked. That's right. I can feel that there is a type of metal in this cave, a very precious metal. If I eat it, I will definitely evolve and reach the heavenly god realm. Qiuqiu replied with his mind power. Reach the heavenly god realm? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Given Qiuqiu's strength, if it could reach the heavenly god realm, its combat strength would definitely be terrifying and it would be a great help to him. If he were to encounter the Sky Hong Saint again, Fuko Seiko's subordinates would not be afraid. Kid, I can sense that there are many powerful demons living in this cave. Gumo's voice was heard. Senior Bone Devil, can you sense the approximate cultivation level of the fiendish demon in this cave? Lu Ming asked. The strongest one is a level 1 heavenly god. There's only one. The rest are all below the heavenly god realm. Gumo said. There's only one level 1 heavenly god realm demon. Let's do it. Lu Ming was determined. Qiuqiu, get ready for battle. Lu Ming said to Qiuqiu. Then he started to activate the battle formula. After more than 20 years of cultivation, Lu Ming's understanding of the battle formula had deepened. The success rate of quadrupling his combat strength had also increased significantly. He would succeed once in a dozen tries. After more than a dozen tries, Lu Ming successfully quadrupled his combat strength and raised his condition to the maximum. He then carefully approached the cave. Whoosh. When Lu Ming neared the cave, a red ray of light suddenly shot out from the cave and pierced the area between Lu Ming's eyebrows. Before it reached him, a fishy smell had already hit him in the face. A tongue? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He could clearly see that the red ray of light was an animal's tongue. Lu Ming shook his long spear and viciously lashed out at the tongue. However, the spear did not hit the tongue at all. The tongue was soft and the force of the spear was negated instantly. It turned around and pierced towards Lu Ming again. A petty trick. Lu Ming's gaze turned cold as he put away his spear. His palm was covered with divine power as he grabbed the scarlet tongue. Then, his extreme cold divine power erupted and surged into the tongue. In an instant, the tongue was frozen into a popsicle. Lu Ming flung his arm and the popsicle shattered into dozens of pieces. Lu Ming muttered. The huge creature that rushed out was a huge toad. It was pitch black and was similarly filled with dense demonic qi. It stared at Lu Ming with resentment. This toad had a cultivation of level 9 true god realm. Croak. Following that, croaking sounds came from the cave, and black figures jumped out one after another. All of them were toads, and in just a few breaths, more than a dozen toads jumped out. All of them were at the 8th and 9th level of true god realm. Kill? Lu Ming charged over. This time he did not take out his spear. Instead he took out a battle sword. Moon slaying. Lu Ming used moon slaying to slash at a toad. Croak. The toad cried and opened its mouth. Rays of pitch-black light burst out like blades and slashed towards Lu Ming. Clang, clang. The battle sword collided with these rays of light and there was a violent explosion. What a strong strength. Lu Ming's eyes were also somewhat solemn. This level 9 true god toad was shockingly strong. Its combat power was not weaker than Long Xian, who was ranked 6th on the true god ranking list. However, Lu Ming's current strength also increased a notch compared to when he fought with Long Xian. Moon slaying. Lu Ming urged the apocalyptic 3 strikes to the extreme. The crescent-shaped sword light slashed out continuously. At the same time, Lu Ming displayed ice chains. 9 ice chains flew out and wrapped around that toad. The sword light slashed past. Lu Ming cut this toad in half. On the other side, Qiuqiu showed his invincible might. When it was at level 8 true god realm, its strength was already very shocking and could crush Lu Ming. Now that it broke through to level 9 true god realm, its strength was even stronger. Its 2 arms turned into 2 battle blades, slashing out continuously. Every time he slashed out, a toad would be killed. Lu Ming only killed 1, but Qiuqiu killed 6. When Lu Ming killed the second toad, the other toads were already killed by Qiuqiu. Impressive. Lu Ming looked at Qiuqiu with a smile. He could not help but look forward to how strong Qiuqiu's combat power would be after breaking through to Celestial God Realm. Figures flashing, Lu Ming and Qiuqiu rushed into the cave. The cave was very large and had many different passageways. This way. Qiuqiu took the lead and flew toward a passageway. Lu Ming followed closely behind. Along the way, toads would jump out from time to time. However, they were all killed by Qiuqiu's blade. Very soon, Lu Ming they advanced for several hundred miles, detouring around many winding passageways. Finally, they came to a huge underground cave. This underground cavern was fiery red because the surrounding walls were inlaid with fiery red gems that emitted a red glow. At the top of the cave, there was a piece of crimson metal. It was the size of a human head and was embedded in the wall. It emitted powerful energy waves. It's that piece of metal. It's that piece of metal? Qiuqiu's voice rang out in Lu Ming's mind. Then it opened its mouth and pounced at the piece of metal. Gua gua! At this moment, several loud cries rang out, shaking the underground cave. A black shadow pounced at Qiuqiu with extreme speed. Qiuqiu, be careful. Lu Ming shouted a warning. At the same time, he charged toward the black shadow. Swoosh! A crimson tongue lashed at Qiuqiu like a soft whip. Qiuqiu was not prepared and was hit directly. Bam! Qiuqiu was sent flying like a cannonball. It crashed into the wall and smashed a large hole in it. Moon slashing. Lu Ming had already arrived. He executed moon slashing and slashed at the crimson tongue. However, the tongue flicked and a terrifying force exploded. Lu Ming's body shuddered and he could not help but fly backward. What a powerful force. Lu Ming's eyes turned solemn. A huge toad appeared in front of them. This toad was 2 to 3 times bigger than the ones they had encountered before. It was emitting a strong demonic aura with a shocking aura. Heavenly God Realm. This toad had the cultivation of the Heavenly God Realm. It should be the first layer Heavenly God that Guillemot had sensed. Chapter 28:19. Bam. Rubble flew from the side as Qiuqiu flew back to Lu Ming's side. It shook its body a little, but it was fine. Croak, croak. The Heavenly God Realm toad stared at Lu Ming and Qiuqiu with a ferocious look in its eyes. Then, with a spring of its legs, its huge body pounced towards Lu Ming and Qiuqiu at an astonishing speed. It opened its mouth and its scarlet tongue pierced towards Lu Ming like a sharp sword light. At the same time, rays of black light shot out towards Qiuqiu. Ice chains? Facing a Heavenly God Realm toad, Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. 9 ice chains flew out and wrapped around the toad. At the same time, he activated the 9 Heavens Golden Armor and executed the 9 Heavens Garuda technique. In a flash, he charged towards the toad. A crescent-shaped sword light slashed towards the toad. However, Lu Ming still underestimated the toad. The toad's tongue was like a peerless sword. With a flick of its tongue, it struck the ice chains. The ice chains violently trembled before shattering one by one. Then the tongue continued to attack Lu Ming. Bam! Lu Ming's battle sword slashed the toad's tongue. It was like slashing leather, unable to break through the toad's defense. A powerful force burst out from the tongue. It traveled along the battle sword and struck Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's body was sent flying, crashing into the wall at the side. Lu Ming felt the blood in his body churning. He coughed out a mouthful of blood. What a powerful force. Lu Ming was shocked. The toad's strength was even stronger than Lu Feiyun's. They were both first-level heavenly gods, but Lu Feiyun's strength was definitely not the toad's match. Boom, boom. Qiuqiu waved its 2 battle swords and clashed with the black light released by the toad. For a moment, it was blocked by the toad. Again? Lu Ming's body moved as he charged toward the toad. Endless divine power poured into Lu Ming's body from the quantifying character formula, allowing Lu Ming's divine power to remain abundant. 9 ice chains were formed once again. At the same time, a dragon's roar resounded. A huge 9-clawed dragon appeared above Lu Ming's head. For the first time, Lu Ming used the divine dragon aspect technique against his opponent. The 9-clawed dragon pounced towards the toad. 9 dragon claws stepped out one after another and turned toward the toad. Bang, bang. The toad's tongue continuously collided with the dragon's claws. The huge body of the 9-clawed dragon trembled, but it did not shatter. He blocked it. Lu Ming was overjoyed. The power of the divine dragon aspect technique was indeed shocking, especially the 9-clawed dragon that Lu Ming formed. It was even stronger and had become Lu Ming's strongest killing move. Qiuqiu used lightning. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Qiuqiu. He used all his means to attack the toad. Sizzle. Hit by the lightning, the toad's body stiffened and the fragrance of barbecued meat wafted out. After Qiuqiu's cultivation broke through to the 9th level True God Realm, the power of the lightning had become stronger. There was no way Lu Ming would miss such an opportunity. He immediately controlled the 9 ice chains to bind the toad. A terrifying chill gushed into the toad's body, trying to seal it in ice. Brr. The 9-clawed dragon roared and stepped out with its dragon claws, turning towards the toad. At the same time, Lu Ming also slashed at the toad with his sword. Crow, crow, crow. At the critical moment, the toad mustered all its remaining strength. A wave of black demonic chi rushed out in all directions like a shockwave. In an instant, the demonic chi bounced off the ice chains and hit Lu Ming and the 9-clawed dragon. The 9-clawed dragon aspect shook violently and emitted a dazzling radiance. Then it began to crack inch by inch. Lu Ming was also sent flying. His 9-layer golden armor was filled with cracks. However, this was the toad's desperate move. After using it, its aura was much weaker and the demonic chi protecting its body was much thinner. Qiuqiu seized the opportunity and sent another bolt of lightning down. This time the toad was sent flying by the lightning. Its round body rolled on the ground and was charred black. Qiuqiu seized the opportunity and rushed forward. With a slash, half of the toad's body was cut off. Blood flowed all over the ground. Even so, the toad was still not dead. It struggled to escape. "Don't even think about escaping," Lu Ming shouted. The 9 ice chains formed again. They were a few thousand meters long and wrapped around the toad. The toad was already heavily injured. This time it could not break free from the ice chains. Its body was covered with a layer of ice. Qiuqiu rushed forward and slashed twice, completely killing the toad. Off. Lu Ming let out a long breath. He had finally killed the toad. The heavenly god realm toad was stronger than Lu Feiyun. It was indeed difficult to kill. Lu Ming and Qiuqiu cooperated and used all their means. They had grasped the timing very well. If the timing was wrong, even if the two of them worked together, they would not be able to kill the toad. "My cultivation base is still too low," Lu Ming sighed. His various divine skills and secret techniques were very powerful. Unfortunately, his cultivation base was too low. It was difficult for him to exert too much power. In fact, the main reason was that Lu Ming's opponent was too strong. If it was someone of the same level or higher than Lu Ming could easily kill them. Lu Ming was only a 3rd-level true god. The difference between him and a heavenly god realm expert was too great. If it was another 3rd-level true god facing a heavenly god realm expert, they would probably be killed with a slap. After the toad was killed, the cave quieted down. This cave seemed to be the cave of the Toad King. The other toads did not dare to enter. Qiuqiu stared at the piece of metal with fiery eyes. It rushed forward and opened its mouth to bite it. Crunch, crunch, sparks flew. The piece of metal was bitten off by Qiuqiu and swallowed into its mouth. Soon the entire piece of metal was eaten by Qiuqiu. "I'm going to evolve." Qiuqiu left behind a sentence and turned into a metal ball. It fell to the ground, motionless. Lu Ming sat cross-legged not far away from Qiuqiu, circulating his cultivation base to heal his injuries. He was still seriously injured in the battle just now. After his injuries were healed, Lu Ming began to cultivate and wait in the cave. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. Qiuqiu was still evolving. Obviously, that piece of metal was not so easy to refine. "Lu Ming, the energy of the ancient god flower has finally been completely refined by this old lady. Do you need it now? If you do, I will transfer it to you immediately." The voice of the quantifying character formula sounded. "Okay, transfer it to me." Lu Ming's eyes lit up. After decades of polishing and cultivating, Lu Ming's foundation had long been incomparably stable. It was just right for him to break through now. Chapter 28:20. Be careful. The measure formula reminded Lu Ming. Then it shone brightly. Waves of pure energy flowed into Lu Ming's body from the measure formula. Lu Ming circulated the Heaven and Earth 10,000 Tao Sutra with all his might to refine the energy. The energy refined by the measure formula was too pure. As long as he refined it casually, it would be completely converted into Lu Ming's divine power. The 6 divine fires in his dantian grew stronger and stronger. Originally, the 6th divine fire formed by the profound divine power was not particularly strong and had not reached the level of the other divine fires. Now, the divine fire was rapidly growing stronger and caught up with the other divine fires at an alarming speed. When the profound divine fire caught up with the other divine fires, a roar came from Lu Ming's body. The 6 divine fires burned fiercely and doubled in size in an instant. The divine power in Lu Ming's body increased rapidly. 4th level true god realm. Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through to the 4th level True God realm. However, it did not stop there. His cultivation was still increasing rapidly. Back then, the descendants of the ancient gods had planted too many ancient god flowers and absorbed the flesh and blood of many experts. The energy contained within was extremely strong. Back then, most of the energy had been used to form the ancient god's heart. However, the remaining energy in the measure formula was still extremely strong. Lu Ming's cultivation was rapidly charging towards the peak of the 4th level True God realm. Soon he reached the peak of the 4th level True God realm and started to break through to the 5th level True God realm. Boom. Soon after, another roar came from Lu Ming's body. He had broken through to the 5th level True God realm. Until he broke through to the 5th level True God realm, the energy from the measure formula was completely refined by Lu Ming. Awesome, this is too awesome. Feeling the surging divine power in his body, Lu Ming's eyes shone brightly and he was filled with confidence. Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through 2 levels consecutively, causing his strength to skyrocket. One had to know that the secret technique would improve along with the breakthrough in cultivation. Moreover, the profound divine power had also reached the level of other divine powers. Lu Ming's divine power had reached an astonishing level, far surpassing that of martial practitioners of the same level. With my current strength, even if I'm alone, I can kill that Toad King, Lu Ming muttered. He was indeed confident. With his current strength, he had no fear of ordinary first-level heavenly gods. He could kill them easily. At this moment, Qiuqiu also emitted a powerful energy fluctuation. Qiuqiu was also about to start evolving and break through to the celestial deity realm. Qiuqiu's body was filled with a dazzling light. Tiny bolts of lightning covered his entire body like tiny snakes that constantly slithered about. Boom. Qiuqiu's aura suddenly skyrocketed, as if it had broken through a limit and pierced through the clouds. A powerful aura filled the air. Heavenly God realm, this was the pressure of a heavenly god. Qiuqiu succeeded in breaking through to the celestial god realm. It took a long time before Qiuqiu's aura finally stabilized and completely concealed itself. Swoosh. Qiuqiu rushed in front of Lu Ming and spun around, shouting, "Lu Ming, do you want to compete?" No. Lu Ming shook his head resolutely. Qiuqiu had reached the celestial god realm, so his combat strength would definitely skyrocket. He had suffered a loss when he fought with Qiuqiu the last time. Only a fool would suffer a second loss. Haha, you don't dare to compete with me anymore. Qiuqiu was very proud. His round body spun around Lu Ming. After a long while, he turned into a bracelet and wore it on Lu Ming's hand. Then Lu Ming followed the original path and walked out. Croak, croak. After walking for a while, a toad appeared in front of Lu Ming and stared at Lu Ming fiercely. Lu Ming could see that this toad had the cultivation of a 9th level true god. Just nice, I'll use you to test my strength, Lu Ming muttered. Activating the battle character art, he doubled his combat strength and blasted a palm over. At the same time, the toad also launched an attack. But how strong was Lu Ming now? His palm force whistled like the sea, destroying the toad's attack as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. Then it bombarded the toad's body. In an instant, Lu Ming activated the coldest divine power. A layer of ice crystals immediately appeared on the toad's body, completely sealing the toad inside. Then Lu Ming's palm force shook. The toad's body shattered like a piece of ice, turning into fragments. With one palm, a powerful 9th level true god toad was insta-killed by Lu Ming. With Lu Ming's current strength, he could already be said to be invincible in the true god realm. Unless he encountered a peerless genius who also controlled divine-grade divine power and had a terrifying secret technique. Otherwise, a true god realm expert would definitely be insta-killed when facing Lu Ming. Lu Ming was quite satisfied with his strength. His figure moved and he rushed outside. Along the way he would encounter toads from time to time. But they were all insta-killed by Lu Ming, sweeping through all along the way. Not long after, Lu Ming came out of the toad's nest. However, Lu Ming had no intention of returning to the base to recuperate. He was full of divine power and was not injured. Moreover, his strength had improved greatly. There was no need to return to the base to recuperate at all. It was best to temper himself in this savage mountain and obtain natural treasures. In the next few days, Lu Ming had been tempering himself in the savage mountain and obtained natural treasures again. However, Lu Ming did not devour all of the divine herbs for the measuring character art. Lu Ming kept some of the rare divine herbs with him. Not only were these divine herbs valuable outside, but they might be useful in the future if he kept them with him. Lu Ming, there are people approaching you rapidly. It's those people who chased after you last time. Suddenly Gumo's voice sounded. These people are really haunting me. Well, this time I'll play with you guys. A cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He did not leave but stayed in place and waited. Now that his cultivation had improved greatly and Qiuqiu had broken through to the heavenly god realm, he was very confident. Swoosh, swoosh. In just a few breaths, there was a violent sound of something breaking through the air in the distance. 7 or 8 figures appeared and rushed toward Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. This kid is really here. Surround him, don't let him run away. When these people saw Lu Ming, their eyes lit up and they sped up. Their figures flashed and surrounded Lu Ming from all directions. There was a total of 8 people who were left behind by the great Hong Saint and Fuko Seiko to chase after Lu Ming. In the past few months, they had not given up and had been wandering around the nearby area. They did not expect to meet Lu Ming. The 8 of them surrounded Lu Ming. Powerful auras spread out and sealed off all directions, fearing that Lu Ming would escape again. What are you doing? All of you look ferocious. Why aren't you kowtowing to me when you see me? Lu Ming said casually. Ah. The 8 of them laughed. One of them laughed and said, Saint? You're about to die but you still want to show off. Lu Ming, today is the day you die. My day of death? Do you think you can kill me with your repulsive skills? Lu Ming said disdainfully. Chapter 28-21. Lu Ming said disdainfully. Now that he had a rough idea of their cultivation base, he was completely at ease. These 8 people were all in the heavenly god realm. 4 first-layer heavenly gods, 3 second-layer heavenly gods, and 1 third-layer heavenly god. With Lu Ming's strength, it would be a little difficult for him to go against the second-layer heavenly god. At most, he could only protect himself. However, Lu Ming had Qiuqiu. When Qiuqiu was in the true god realm, he could definitely fight against some weaker heavenly gods. One should know that there was a huge gap between the true god realm and heavenly god realm. Now that Qiuqiu had broken through to the heavenly god realm, his combat strength had increased tremendously. Killing a third-layer heavenly god was definitely not a problem for him. Therefore, Lu Ming did not put these people in his eyes. How arrogant. Then let me see if you have the right to be arrogant. A middle-aged man stepped out. His powerful aura pressed down on Lu Ming like a mountain. However, Lu Ming did not move at all. Kill? The man roared. A battle axe appeared in his hand and he swung it at Lu Ming. This man was in the first-layer heavenly god realm. Although he looked down on Lu Ming, he did not underestimate him at all. He used his full strength right from the start. After all, Lu Ming and Qiuqiu had teamed up to defeat Lu Feiyun. Although this man was slightly stronger than Lu Feiyun, it was not by much. The others did not make a move. Instead, they stood guard in all directions, afraid that Lu Ming would take the opportunity to escape. Buzz. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. The long spear vibrated and pierced out. Third apocalyptic strike, sky-piercing. At the moment of his attack, Lu Ming activated the battle character secret art to triple his combat strength. Clang. The long spear and the battle axe clashed head-on, resulting in a violent explosion. The ground beneath their feet exploded continuously, with cracks extending in all directions. Following that, a figure retreated rapidly. It was the middle-aged man. How is this possible? At the side, the other 7 people's hearts were beating wildly. They couldn't believe their eyes. In the head-on collision between Lu Ming and the middle-aged man, Lu Ming actually gained the upper hand. They saw very clearly that this time, Lu Ming did not rely on external forces. He relied entirely on his own strength. But Lu Ming was just a true god. How could he be so strong? How is this possible? The middle-aged man found it hard to believe and was momentarily stunned. Third strike of annihilation, moon slashing. Lu Ming let out a long howl as he charged towards the middle-aged man like a gust of wind. He executed the second move of the 3 strikes of annihilation, the moon slashing strike. Not good, be careful. At the side, an old man shouted to remind him, but it was too late. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The moment Lu Ming rushed out, 9 ice chains flew out from his body. Like 9 bolts of lightning, they arrived first and wrapped around the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man had been knocked back by Lu Ming with a single move. So, he was somewhat stupefied. In a battle between experts, a momentary mistake would be fatal. At this moment he reacted and wanted to dodge, but it was too late. His body was entangled by the 9 ice chains. Break! The middle-aged man roared, trying to use his divine power to break free from the ice chains. However, Lu Ming's cultivation had improved greatly, and the power of the ice chains had also increased by a large margin. For a moment he couldn't break free at all. And Lu Ming had already arrived. No! The middle-aged man let out a desperate roar. Then a crescent-shaped spear light flashed past. The middle-aged man was directly split into two halves and died on the spot. In an instant, Lu Ming killed a first-level heavenly god existence. With Lu Ming's current strength, it was enough to kill the Toad King. The middle-aged man's strength was even weaker than the Toad King. Moreover, he had underestimated Lu Ming's strength. After being knocked back by Lu Ming, there was a moment of absent-mindedness. That was why he was killed by Lu Ming's thunderous attack. All of this happened too fast. It was so fast that the other 7 people couldn't even save him in time. This kid. The other 7 people looked at Lu Ming with great shock in their eyes. Lu Ming's speed of improvement was too fast. Now he could actually kill a heavenly god. If this continued, it was certain that he would catch up or even surpass the other saints. Everyone, this person must not be left alive. Let's attack together. No matter what, we must kill him. At the scene, the only third-level heavenly god old man said with a solemn expression. Although as long as he attacked he was 100% sure that he could kill Lu Ming, but he still invited the others to attack together. He was afraid that Lu Ming would run away again. Let's attack together. The others nodded and unleashed their divine force of different colors. If you want to join forces to kill me, I'll kill you first. Lu Ming's eyes flickered with murderous intent. With heavy footsteps, he dashed toward the third-level heavenly god old man and threw a punch at him. You're courting death. The old man did not expect Lu Ming to attack him. Although Lu Ming's strength was strong, he was still a lot weaker than him. Charging at him first was no different than courting death. Therefore, he diverted some of his attention and activated a defensive divine skill as a defense. Afterward, a beam of sword gleam burst out from his palm and slashed toward Lu Ming. Zzz, wisps of lightning appeared on Lu Ming's wrist. The reason why Lu Ming was the first to attack the third-level heavenly god was not because he wanted to rely on his own strength but Qiu. Wisps of lightning appeared on Qiu's bracelet. As Lu Ming threw a punch, a bolt of lightning as thick as an arm struck at the old man. Boom! The old man's sword ray was shattered in an instant. The lightning did not stop and struck the old man's body. The old man's defensive divine skill was like a piece of paper, unable to withstand a single blow. The lightning struck the old man's body. The old man screamed in agony and his body was sent flying. He fell tens of thousands of meters away, his body twitching and charred. He was exhaling more than he was inhaling. The old man was on the verge of death in one move. The remaining 6 people were almost scared to death. Qiu kill. Lu Ming yelled. With a wave of his hand, Qiu flew toward a second-level heavenly god. In the process, Qiu extended 2 tentacles that turned into 2 battle blades and slashed at the old man. The old man was shocked and quickly defended himself. However, a second-level heavenly god could only be abused by Qiu. The blade light slashed and the old man was killed. Then Qiu attacked another second-level heavenly god. Meanwhile, Lu Ming rushed toward a first-level heavenly god. 9 ice chains quickly wrapped around the old man. Break! The old man's battle blade slashed out continuously. In an instant he had slashed out hundreds of times trying to break the ice chains. The ice chains raged and sparks flew. However, the ice chain's chilliness flowed through the old man's battle blade and spread throughout his body. It made him feel cold all over as if he was about to be frozen. Moon slaying. Lu Ming arrived and used moon slaying. This move was even stronger than the one Lu Ming had used before, because Lu Ming had already quadrupled his battle strength. Chapter 28-22. You want to kill me? Dream on. The other party roared and unleashed his full strength. He slashed out with his saber and clashed with Lu Ming's attack. The other party's body shook violently as he spat out mouthfuls of blood. A 9-clawed dragon suddenly appeared above Lu Ming's head. It let out a long roar and pounced towards the other party. 9-clawed dragon, son of Saint's divine dragon aspect art. The other party let out a terrified roar. Then the 9-clawed dragon aspect clawed at his body and tore it apart. The other party had 8 people in total. Now 4 of them were dead. Only 4 were left. 2 of them were first-layer heavenly gods and 2 were second-layer heavenly gods. Meanwhile, Qiu had already charged towards the other second-layer heavenly god. Run! The remaining people were scared out of their wits. They had no strength to fight at all. They turned around and ran. As a result, they were no match for Lu Ming's group. Asterisk zap 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 asterisk Qiu unleashed the lightning again. A bolt of lightning struck and killed a second-layer heavenly god expert. These people were all outer elders or inner deacons of the Kongshen school. They were usually high and mighty, but now they were dying one after another. Qiu continued to charge towards the last second-layer heavenly god. Meanwhile, Lu Ming charged towards the last two first-layer heavenly gods. The divine dragon aspect roared and pounced towards a first-layer heavenly god elder. Meanwhile, Lu Ming charged towards the other first-layer heavenly god. Lu Ming, we are outer elders of the Kongshen school. You can't kill us. That's right. We are the heroes of the Kongshen school. If you kill us, you will be committing treason, the few old men roared at the same time. You have lived for so long, yet you still dare to say such words. Don't you think it's funny? Lu Ming said coldly. His voice was filled with mockery. Previously they had wholeheartedly wanted to kill Lu Ming. Now that they were about to be killed, they brought up their identities as outer sect elders of the Kongshen school, hoping that Lu Ming would let them go. Only a fool would let them go. This old man will fight it out with you. An old man roared, knowing that Lu Ming would not let them off. He desperately burned his divine power and charged towards Lu Ming, wanting to perish together with Lu Ming. However, a bolt of lightning struck and the old man's body stiffened in the air, turning him into a pile of charcoal. It turned out that Qiu already finished off the last second-level celestial deity person and returned to help Lu Ming. Like this, there was only one first-level celestial god left. The old man roared. Knowing that he was dead, he burned his god power and attacked Lu Ming. Qiu, leave this to me. Lu Ming said to Qiu, stopping Qiu from attacking. He could use this person to train himself. 1. With a shake of his long spear, Lu Ming charged towards this person. This person burned his god power and his strength increased greatly. He might have already surpassed the Toad King. Lu Ming could use him to train himself. 9 ice chains whistled, the 9-clawed dragon roared, and Lu Ming attacked continuously. Even if the other party burned his god power, he was still suppressed by Lu Ming. Both sides fought fiercely. In an instant they had exchanged dozens of blows. The other party was pushed back by Lu Ming. Burning his god power could not be sustained for long. As the other party's god power was consumed, he was even less of a match for Lu Ming. Monster. The saint offended such a person. If he can't kill him as soon as possible, he will die in his hands sooner or later. Forget it. At this moment, the old man sighed in his heart. Lu Ming's talent and combat strength had deeply shocked him. He could almost see the great Hong Saint dying in Lu Ming's hands in the near future. After exchanging a few more blows, Lu Ming's spear pierced through the man's body and he died on the spot. At this point, the 8 experts sent by the great Hong Saint and Fuko Seiko to kill Lu Ming were all killed. Including the 3rd-level heavenly god, he had no signs of life at this moment. Lu Ming collected the 8 people's storage rings. 8 heavenly god realm storage rings. This would be a great harvest. After putting it away, Lu Ming left the place in a flash. In the following days, Lu Ming continued to go deeper into the mountain range. He was getting further and further away from the base. The deeper he went, the stronger the demons he encountered. He would encounter heavenly god realm demons from time to time. Under normal circumstances, Lu Ming wouldn't let Qiu fight. He would fight with the demons alone, training himself and collecting heavenly treasures at the same time. Just like that, Lu Ming traveled in the primitive mountain range for half a year. Lu Ming and 3 fiendish demons were engaged in a fierce battle in a valley. The 3 demons were all first-layer heaven gods, and each of them possessed shocking strength. They were on par with the Toad King he had encountered before. The 3 of them worked together and attacked with shocking power. Lu Ming used all his means and fought fiercely with the 3 demons. Ice chains, divine dragon, 3 strikes of destruction, 9 heavens Kunpeng technique, 9 layers of crimson golden armor. Lu Ming used all his means and fought a few hundred blows with the 3 demons. Awesome, this is really awesome. The more he fought, the stronger Lu Ming's battle intent. He felt that every cell in his body was jumping. It was exhilarating. After half a year of training, Lu Ming had made great progress in all aspects. Various divine skills such as the 3 strikes of destruction, 9 heavens Kunpeng technique, and 9 layers of crimson golden armor had all reached the peak of the 5th level. This speed of improvement was extremely shocking. The further one cultivated a divine skill, the harder it was to improve it. It would take a long time, especially since Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the 5th level True God realm. Lu Ming was able to cultivate several types of divine techniques to the peak of the 5th level within a short span of half a year. This was all thanks to the continuous fighting and killing. Especially the demons here, they were fierce and cruel and had shocking strength. The effective training would be better. His comprehension of the battle character formula had improved a little, and the success rate had reached 10%. In the past half a year, Lu Ming had obtained a lot of divine herbs. Most of them were devoured and refined by the measure character formula, and the refined energy was transferred to Lu Ming. Now, Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the peak of the 5th level True God realm. He wasn't far from the 6th level True God realm. This speed was no different from riding a rocket. Up until now, the 3 demons had consumed a lot of energy. They were starting to lose their strength and were slowly being suppressed by Lu Ming. The 3 demons began to retreat. Finally, with a low growl, they actually turned and ran. "You want to leave? Ball, I'll leave it to you." Lu Ming waved his hand and Qiuqiu flew out. It opened its mouth and spat out 3 bolts of lightning, bombarding the 3 fiendish demons and killing them immediately. In the depths of the valley, there was a shining divine herb. It was obviously not an ordinary item. Lu Ming walked over and kept the divine herb, then left. A few days later, Lu Ming was wandering in a forest. Swoosh, swoosh. Suddenly, a group of people flew over the forest. Chapter 28-23. A group of people flew over Lu Ming's head, releasing a powerful pressure. All of them were in the heavenly god realm. There are so many experts. They're from the invincible Kenzo. Lu Ming's eyes moved. There were middle-aged, old, and even young people in this group. Each of them carried a sword on their back. Looking at their attire, Lu Ming knew that they were from the invincible Kenzo, one of the 3 overlords. These people also noticed Lu Ming. However, they only coldly glanced at Lu Ming before ignoring Lu Ming. They flew in a certain direction as if they had something important to do. Lu Ming did not think too much about it. He continued to wander around the forest looking for treasures. However, not long after, another group flew over Lu Ming's head. This time there were fewer people. There were only 4 of them. They're from the Mystic Academy. Looking at their attire, Lu Ming's eyes moved. Wait. The 4 of them had already flown over when an old man suddenly shouted. The 4 of them stopped. That old man looked at Lu Ming. So it's this kid. The first place of the 13 sex assessment, Lu Ming. This kid actually came here. The old man was astonished when he saw Lu Ming. He had seen Lu Ming before. Lu Ming had obtained first place in the 13 sex assessment. He had even invited Lu Ming to join the Mystic Academy. However, he was rejected by Lu Ming. He had a deep impression of Lu Ming. Thus, he recognized Lu Ming with just a glance. "Elder Hong, do you know this kid?" Among the 4, a young man asked. "I've seen this kid before. He obtained first place in the 13 sex assessment. This kid actually came here." "Wait, this kid's cultivation has already reached the 5th level of the True God realm. How is this possible?" After Old Man Hong scanned Lu Ming's cultivation, his eyes widened in shock. He remembered clearly that when Lu Ming was in the 13 sex assessment, he hadn't even reached empty god realm. He was only a demigod. Now, less than 100 years had passed and Lu Ming actually cultivated to the 5th level True God realm. What kind of cultivation speed was this? Old Man Hong's heart was in turmoil. The previous number 1 of the 13 sex assessment shouldn't have been more than 100 years ago. In less than 100 years, his cultivation had already reached the 5th level of True God realm. Then, how strong was his cultivation at that time? Another person asked. "Demigod." Old Man Hong said. "Demigod? What? Demigod?" The other 3 were completely stunned. Then their eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He was so talented, but he wasn't a student of the Mystic Academy. He should be eliminated. "I'll go kill him," the young man said coldly. He took a step forward and charged towards Lu Ming, pressing his palm down. This young man was also a genius in the Mystic Academy. He was a first-level heavenly god at such a young age. He wasn't any weaker than Lu Fei Yun. In his opinion, with his first-level heavenly god cultivation, dealing with a 5th-level true god was a piece of cake for him. "You want to kill me?" Lu Ming's heart was filled with anger and killing intent. He didn't even say a word, but the other party wanted to kill him. How overbearing. Since that was the case, Lu Ming's eyes were cold as he charged towards the sky. Divine force surged out of his body. Divine dragon aspect art. Lu Ming immediately used his strongest killing move. A 9-clawed dragon appeared. It roared and charged towards the other party. Feeling the terrifying aura of the 9-clawed dragon aspect art, the 4 from the Mystic Academy were shocked. The 9-clawed dragon aspect art roared and charged forward, completely shattering the young man's palm. The dragon claw reached out and grabbed at the young man. The young man never thought that Lu Ming, a 5th-level true god, could unleash such a terrifying attack. It was too late for him to dodge. "Kid, stop. Don't you dare." The others roared, wanting to save the young man, but it was already too late. The young man was torn apart by the divine dragon aspect art. "You're courting death." Upon seeing this, the remaining 3 roared furiously. Their eyes reddened with rage. A 1st-level heavenly god genius had died just like that. Their hearts were bleeding. The 3 of them charged at Lu Ming furiously, unleashing powerful auras. A 1st-level heavenly god, a 2nd-level heavenly god, and a 3rd-level heavenly god. "Kid, I'm going to grind your bones to dust." The old man with the surname Hong roared. His cultivation was at the 3rd-level heavenly god realm. He unleashed a terrifying murderous intent and charged at Lu Ming. The reason why he wanted to kill Lu Ming was partly because Lu Ming had killed the young man, but more importantly, he was shocked by Lu Ming's strength. Lu Ming's strength was too terrifying. He had to get rid of him. "Chiu." Lu Ming waved his hand, sending Chiu flying. "Piss off." The old man with the surname Hong did not put Chiu in his eyes. He immediately attacked, trying to send Chiu flying. However, Chiu unleashed a bolt of lightning, penetrating the old man's attack and landing on the old man with the surname Hong. The old man with the surname Hong cried out in agony as he was sent flying, crashing into a few ancient trees. He was already half dead. The other 2 were dumbfounded. Whoosh! With a flicker, Chiu slashed forward. The 2nd-level heavenly god was slain by Chiu, leaving only the 1st-level heavenly god. "Don't kill me, don't kill me." That heavenly god stage 1 man almost peed in his pants. He screamed in fear, his body trembling non-stop. At that instant, Lu Ming was like a devil in his eyes. "Don't kill you, is that even possible?" Lu Ming stepped forward. His icy murderous intent caused the middle-aged man to tremble even more. Don't kill me, as long as you don't kill me, I'll tell you a secret, the secret of a treasure." The middle-aged man yelled. "The secret of a treasure?" Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Seeing that Lu Ming was tempted, the middle-aged burly man saw a chance to survive. He was overjoyed and hurriedly shouted, "That's right. We found a place. There are definitely amazing treasures inside. As long as you let me go, I will tell you the location of that place." "You have no right to negotiate with me. Speak or I'll kill you right now," Lu Ming said coldly. "No, you have to promise not to kill me. Otherwise I won't tell you. I'm going to die anyway." The middle-aged man clenched his teeth and said. Lu Ming rolled his eyes and nodded, "All right, as long as you're telling the truth, I won't kill you." "Really?" The middle-aged man's eyes flickered. "Nonsense, of course it's true. Tell me now or I'll kill you right now," Lu Ming said coldly. All right, I'll tell you." The man immediately told Qin Nan the location. "I've told you, you can let me go now." The middle-aged man looked at Lu Ming hopefully. "Let you go? Are you going to wait for your reinforcements to come and kill me?" Lu Ming said in a mocking tone. "You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.